All right, ladies and gentlemen, we should be live. We should be live. Are we live? Should be live. We'll give it a couple minutes. Should be good. Should be good. Live chat. Yes, sir. All right, we'll give it a couple minutes. We'll let some people come in. Then we're gonna go on the hunt to see which YouTubers are worth listening to. And yeah, this is gonna be more of a fun stream. It's gonna be more of a fun stream. And yeah, there we go. I actually have to zoom this in. Am I also not zoomed in here? I am zoomed in. Okay. Thank you for the like, my man. Thank you for the like. Do live chat. We'll do all chat. We got an O. Let's use the legendary word. So, let's hunt some more. So we have all the letters. Ghost. There's got to be ghost. And there we go. And just like that, we are chilling. All right, just like that. All right. What should I be searching up? Let's tweet out the stream. BTC Turbo meme coin. Boom. Okay. All right. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. We will start very, very soon. We will start very, very soon. We're going to start and we're going to hunt for people that, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the views. Thank you for everything, ladies and gentlemen. We will hunt and look at people that do create content. Now, we're not going to go through obviously all their videos. We're going to go through maybe a few of them, may skip through some of them. And yeah, I know some like I know I've heard of crypto banter, crypto are us. Don't really watch these people. Lark Davis, maybe watched one video of his ever. You know, Austin Hilton, we talked about him yesterday just for a second. And yeah, this is more for, you know, the community. Obviously, gotta take this list with a grain of salt because, like I said, we're not gonna go do some next level deep research. Someone that was good now, like someone that's maybe doing great content now, maybe was involved in a scam before, right? So obviously, you know, gotta take everything with a grain of salt. And we'll have an official list. We do have the notepad coming out, right? I do have a notepad right over here. So we're gonna have an S tier. We're gonna have an S tier. We're gonna have A tier. We're gonna have a B tier, C, D, and F. So obviously, just like school, right? I think most people know okay what A, B, C, D is, right? F is fail, D is borderline fail, C is like underwhelming, B is like average, A is like good to great, and an S is like elite, right? Let's see this. Let's close some of these tabs so no one's messaging me. Yeah, absolutely smashed Wordle of the day. Boom. and let's just slowly get into this. You guys can obviously also give your opinion too. I know, like, even for someone like Crypto Banter, I haven't heard. I know people were complaining last time. There's no way this is real, right? Is this live right now? There's no way. There's, it's a scam. It's a scam. Scan some kind of code. Yeah, it's a scam. Let's go. Let's start Crypto Banter. Obviously, let me know what you guys are thinking too. All right. Early alert. Let's see.
I'm going to be telling you about a narrative I think has a...
Okay. There you go. Banter scammer. Why do people call them scammers? You know, we can even ask ChatGPT some stuff, to be honest. We can even ask ChatGPT. Why do people call Crypto Banter a scammer? Top reasons people accuse Crypto Banter of being a scammer: paid promotions without clear disclosure. Accusation: promotes altcoins that later crash without clearly stating they were paid promotions. Okay, but is this proven? Summary: Crypto Banter is not a proven scam operation, but this scammer accusations mostly stem from promoting coins they invested in without full transparency, pushing coins at tank, and giving off extra liquidity vibes during hype phases. If you're watching them or any crypto influencer, the safest approach is to treat their calls as marketing, not financial advice. Okay, so it's just the most generic information. Okay, we'll look at those. We'll look at those in a second.
Very strong chance of being the dominant narrative in crypto over the next 6 to 12 months.
So paid promotion. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but you're gonna find out something about me. But I listen to videos in 2 times because I'm actually feel like I consume the information quicker and better. So just a paid promotion video.
Hey guys, I'm Alessandro. Welcome back to the channel. Today,
well, it doesn't really matter that it's paid promotion. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with taking. So we can see one here. One here. Are they talking about crypto strategies? Is this also paid?
Have you ever seen the price bounce off a random line on a chart and wonder how did that happen?
Bruh, no way. Let's see.
And why is it going on? Well, quite often that is going to be a moving average that the price is reacting off. So in today's video, I'm going to cover the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and how they help me with my trading strategy. Let's get right into it.
No, but it says paid promotion.
So guys, like I said in the intro, today is all about the moving averages. I'm going to talk about the 50-day and the 200-day and how these help me get entries for longs and for shorts. Remember, a lot of this content I talk about in my Accelerator School, and there is a link in the show description for you guys. And if you like this type of content, you're going to find that Accelerator School is really going to accelerate your trading. Now, let's get into the basics. So the cool thing about moving averages is they are dynamic price levels. They move with the price action, so they are not stagnant like horizontal. Some of these moving averages can in fact be a launch pad, or pump into the moving averages can offer a massive return. Drop down menu on the top left-hand side of that box. Make sure it's the 1 day. You want this to be your time frame. It's going to catch the 50 magic of this above the 50-day.
Is he selling this though?
And when it's below the 50-day MA, it generally trends to the downside. Now, the cool thing about the 50-day MA and using it in your trading strategy is it adds confluence multiple times, trend below the 50-day opportunity. Now, remember the moving average.
Who cares? Okay, whatever. This is, who cares about moving averages? I mean, I use them just to make things clear for some people, but that's not my main thing. Flash dip, panic. This crypto pullback is a trap. Altcoin buying opportunity. Let's see.
Banter fam, happy Thursday to you all, guys.
Wait, is this
good news? Markets pull back with traps, right?
So it's just what? Is this a channel that ran by multiple people? Is this what I'm understanding right now? A channel ran by multiple people?
And this is a trap. What we are seeing now is an inverse head and shoulders in play. And I want to show you guys how this is going to trap the market out. But then,
oh my god, what's happening with my computer, man? I need to. When I come back from vacation, I am definitely 100% in pack punching my whole damn computer. Banter is dead these days. No fundamentals with bad calls after bad calls, saying the same useless crap every single day. Sheldon and Ryan equal dump and dumper. Still rumbling nonsense. Lost track of this guy's wrong calls. Buy with what? Everyone is all in. This little trap took my money off the cliff. Support resistance bears bullshit. Smash now. I mean the dislike button. Everyone got wrecked calling altcoin season since January 2023.
And start an explosion. Yesterday, I spoke about this being a catalyst. Again, the catalyst means two things. Market was either going to pop straight away. It's quite crazy on good news how it starts to trap you, right? So what that's going to do is it's bringing us into the levels of buying power. We are no longer afraid of any of redness. The important is, are we still healthy? And I'm here to say we are still very healthy. Plus, we have this important Bitcoin dominance sitting right in resistance now, retesting. Meaning, yet again, when the bounce comes now, the altcoins are going to bounce hard. So I want to bring you guys a nice early show today to make sure that we get the entries because we're 2 to 3% out from altcoin entries. Okay, I'm in.
Support and resistance or trend lines, not bad.
Today, but I'm officially going to be 99.5% in the market.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are saying these guys are full of things, but obviously I can't just be listening to everybody, right? But if there's a lot of people calling you a scammer, you're probably a good reason.
Resistance into support. Is it a little bearish? No, it actually looks like a great buy zone. So no more wasting time, so I'm blabbering on anymore. How about we get to some damn altcoin entries? Let's go. Markets pull back very bad. A little bit now into PPI, then it's so clear, right? So what's going a little bit bigger than the short, and this is a quick grab for a couple of long liquid resistance. Okay, so we can't be upset.
Let's see what his.
We know that once we are through this resistance, very similar to this resistance at 104, we're going to start going parabolic to the upside. And I'm still saying parabolic. We're still going to have a parabolic move. Ethereum is strong, baby. Look at it. It is looking so sexy outside of this trend line, right? Breaking out of the bull flag. Our altcoins are hot, right? Solana, ETH, there's a bunch of alts, they hot, right? And again, from here, I'm expecting a very strong rally to the upside when it comes to altcoins. So again, where we stop now, if we look at Bitcoin here, we stopped over here, okay, at resistance. And what we are now seeing is market getting oversold on the 4 hour, telling us in the next 48 hours a bounce is incoming, okay? And again,
so
you look at it very clearly. If the leg is like this to the upside and the bounce is incoming, okay, over here, you got to then just really understand what that means, right? It means that the bulls are whipping the bear's butts. That's basically what it means. And it means that once we have a high low here, the next leg is going to be the bulls whipping the bear's butts here. Again,
he understands high lows. Okay, that's good.
And the end of the year, right? The bears have had their full chance. So what you're seeing
maybe
maybe
the technical analysis on these people is not bad. Maybe it's just the calls they make, the sponsored videos and stuff.
What you can see is where we stopped, right? It's in this resistance over here. Just on the left-hand side here, you can see a left shoulder. So I just want to show you guys, don't ignore the positive patterns when they're playing because that's how you get caught off guard, okay? And you're seeing the inverse head and shoulders in play. Now, what it is showing, okay, is we're hitting some sort of support, but it does show us that a little bit more down, right? I think Bitcoin's going to come a little bit down to the 106, 106 sort of area, maybe a little bit even lower than maybe 105, 900, somewhere in that sort of zone. Maybe a little bit higher, right? We don't actually go that low. We actually go here to the areas around 107. Okay, but we're not far. That is where support is right now. We lost the short-term support yesterday after a little fake out. Okay, you can see we pushed up.
Chart's not bad.
Now it's the main support, the big support, right? And from here, then I see bull stepping in and buying power incoming. We know it's coming. We know that the RSI is at the bottom, and we're just waiting for a support zone to be hit. So this is what the play looks like on Bitcoin. The buy zones that are incoming is showing us that it's not far.
Do you guys watch this person? Do you guys know anything about crypto banter or not really?
Into resistance, it has made its 4 hour lower low. Okay, for the first time in a while. And we're on the other side of the trend, which means when the bounce comes, your Ethereum and Solana is not going to wake up nice and strong. So again,
lower low, but it doesn't matter because it matters healthy daily ends, my guy.
And this is altcoins itself. Altcoins is now coming into the support zone. No unhealthiness, no us losing major supports, anything like that. I do see, however, maybe a little bit lower, up to 3%. Again, perfect time to accumulate any long-term bags, perfect time to build spots. And you know what? It is also time when we start breaking these trends. What I'm actually waiting for on short time frame, I'm actually hoping that it trickles a little bit more. And I can get this nice little sexy trend. And if we break here, this looks like, you look at the areas around 2680 to around 2720 as the big bounce from ETH. After that, once it is done through its last resistance over here, I'm then expecting
ETH's doing right now. It broke right below. Okay, that's why I don't really care about support and resistance
from the big altcoin, which means your small altcoins get
that
more,
much.
And on average, you get a 20 to 30% pump after this. If we look at all the altcoins, now the altcoins are stronger than Bitcoin, and they're doing inverse head and shoulders, but they're doing it at an angle. So you see this over here. You can see the angle. Why is it at an angle? Because they're stronger than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's flat, right? This is showing us higher highs, right? Higher highs. Altcoins are stronger than Bitcoin right now.
So he understands.
For the higher low. So what the zones?
Okay, so this guy understands like basic technicals. So this is not bad.
I want them first. Why?
Okay, the chart.
That understand the game.
I just don't understand why people. Was it maybe this guy? Maybe it's the guy that streams. Maybe they don't like. I'm pretty sure it's this guy over here. I'm pretty sure it's this guy over here. I think this is the main guy a lot of people have issues with. I mean, even the dislikes are much higher. For all those who listened to Ron's advice not to sell yesterday, this clown did not even apologize being so wrong yesterday, telling people not to sell. Yeah, but even if there's a move to a short term, that doesn't mean Ran Sims for Israel. Americans should never follow. Okay. Free Palestine, time to buy. It's always coming, but never rise. Worst cycle ever. Why is nothing ever happens by the dips? So it's clearly this guy they don't like.
All right, so we had Israel attack Iran last night, and today the markets are moving like crazy. If you look at the markets today, you've got the markets generally down. You've got Bitcoin giving back some of its gains, 104,830. The S&P slightly down. Altcoins absolutely getting annihilated. You can see it on the bubbles. Altcoins are getting annihilated. The truth is that over the next couple of days, we're going to get a lot of noise and a lot of news about what's happening in the Middle East.
Let's see what he says about this.
It touched a resistance line. It actually touched a very important trend line, and it retreated from this trend line. And just keep that in mind.
People are upset that he said not to sell yesterday. I mean,
it spiked to about 22 and is now back at 19.61, right?
None of this is valid so far. We're just crying.
Bitcoin 105,000. The lowest that Bitcoin went was about 102,895. In this market collapse, we had about $1.1 billion in liquidations, and if I remember correctly, about 250,000 traders were liquidated. So mainly long liquidations got destroyed. In this, I think the
I mean, you shouldn't really.
the altcoins. You can see the altcoins
I
absolutely.
mean, everyone has their own
illustrated.
plan, but
And,
why
I
are
know
you
maybe
trying
we're
to
a little
flip
bit too soon, but I
altcoins
actually tweeted this one,
24/7?
last night, Israel targeted attack on my crypto again. The attacks were executed with extreme precision and targeted my altcoins in particular. They eliminated all my gains on Solsu and various other DeFi players. So the sector that was the most hit in this attack was actually the altcoins. We'll talk about that in a sec. So what is the chart that you should be looking at to block out all the noise and tell you everything that you need to know about this Iran-Israel war and the escalation? Because there's going to be a lot of news headlines. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out of various media outlets, and ultimately it's going to be very, very, very difficult to determine what's noise and what's real. And the only way to actually do it is to actually look, in my opinion, specifically at one chart. And that chart, as Chris says, is to look at the oil chart, right? Because let me first explain to you why the oil chart is such a big indicator about this. So, of course, Iran is one of the world's biggest oil manufacturers,
Brent.
but it's not actually about Iranian oil because
I've actually
the Iranian
looked
oil,
at Brent.
there are sanctions on any country that buys oil from Iran.
Brent
So what the US has done
oil.
is the US has placed sanctions on anyone that buys oil from Iran. And so if you, I was looking this up earlier, and it pretty much says that there's no ban on buying US oil, but there's sanctions. And there's no universal prohibition, but the United States State Department enforced strict sanctions aimed at Iran's petroleum industry. So it's not actually about Iran's petroleum industry. What this is all about is it's about a very small area of land called the Strait of Hormuz, and that's a little area it's a little area which is controlled
right.
just outside of Iran. Now, that little piece of piece of water, that little canal, is basically responsible for the movement
Right.
of about 20% of all the world's oil. Okay, so 20% of all the world's oil, whether it comes from Qatar, from Oman,
chart.
from any of those other countries, flows through this thing called the Strait of Hormuz.
Brent.
The problem is that analysts believe that if this thing actually escalates, then Iran will basically block the Strait of Hormuz, and basically ships and oil won't be able to get through the Strait of Hormuz. And if that happens, then the price of oil could go up to as much as $130 a barrel. So JP Morgan says, look, if this thing actually escalates, they've done their calculations and they say because of the Strait of Hormuz, because of this the disruption of the oil industry on the Strait of Hormuz, effectively what they're saying is that the price of oil could spike and could probably spike to as high as $130 per barrel. And so the truth is, if you want to know what's actually happening in the Middle East and you want to know exactly what the real situation is over there, just look at the oil chart. And right now the oil chart's telling you a big story. The story that the oil chart is telling you, and if you look at the trend line actually can go back. Oh, sorry, that's not the trend line. The trend line can actually go back all the way up to here. You can kind of take that. I'm improvising here a little bit. So you can take that trend line. You can actually draw that trend line all the way back to 2023. And what you can see is that the oil price spiked and was rejected exactly on that trend line. So it's quite uncanny. Like you look at this and you say the price bounced. It touched $76, which is exactly where that trend line is, and now it's retreated back to 73.50.
All right. Well, I don't see anything wrong. I don't know. In terms of technical analysis, in terms of news, it doesn't really seem that bad. From what I see, just people bitching and crying. Let's check crypto banter exposed. Let's see. Let's see.
Don't discourage us from experimenting to change your lives because we're doing it in good faith. And if you discourage us, if you put us in a position where if we make mistakes, you are discouraging us from experimenting. And if we don't experiment, we ain't going to change the world, guys. If we didn't experiment with Gummy,
Holy
we
fuck!
wouldn't.
What's
Ever heard of crypto scams?
Don't
why is it,
discourage us from experimenting to change your lives because we're doing it in good faith. And if you discourage us, if you put us in a position where if we make mistakes, you are discouraging us from experimenting. And if we don't experiment, we ain't going to change the world, guys. If we didn't experiment with Gummy, we wouldn't have given tens of millions of dollars to our community for free. If we didn't experiment with staking your Gummy to get baked, we wouldn't have been able to launch baked. And some will succeed and some will fail. And hopefully more will succeed than those that have failed. And I just want those who don't want to be
Well, let's see. Crypto YouTuber tier list. I think I saw one. Let's see. I swear I saw one the other day. I swear I saw something. Wait. Crypto YouTuber. What is that guy called? Let's see. What is that guy called? His name is FOMO Factory. Let's see, popular. Let's see.
YouTuber influencer
Let's see.
TLS 2025 edition, because they can really help you, but they can also really hurt you. So whether you are new to crypto or you are in space a little bit longer, if you listen to certain people saying the wrong things, that can really hurt you. And I know there once was a saying, Do not wait. This could be better.
Do not buy anything that a crypto influencer tells you. This is
Okay, let's see. Shit, before we do that, let's see what you guys are saying. Caesar gets crypto. Caesar gets crypto. Let's see. Caesar gets crypto. Oh, I've seen this guy before. Damn, this guy spam. So this guy spam uploads a lot. Let's see. He does. You see even today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 videos today. Yesterday. Well, I got whatever. Let's say yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So potentially. Damn. Let's go on his social blade. Let's go on social blade. What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are just looking at some people, right? We're just looking at what people are saying. Caesar gets crypto. He has uploaded. Damn, this guy, it says he averages like 10 to 13 videos a day. 10 to 13 videos a day. Right, if we pull him up right here. So yeah, he spams a lot of videos, which is not bad. It says he's C+. I mean, this doesn't really matter though. His earnings doesn't really matter. All right, let's see this one. Let's see this one.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Caesar, and we are talking about a couple of different things in this video. We're going to talk about the Ethereum price for sure. We're going to talk about when alt season is going to begin and the possibility of alt season being underway very, very soon. More compelling evidence in the charts maybe than we've seen throughout this whole cycle. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Let's do this. So here we are. On this, the 14th
He's okay. He's obsessed with TA.
Price. I will do like a standard analysis on this and tell you why.
Well, I'm a little obsessed with TA. I believe TA is king.
We're on the Binance chart here, ETH BTC on Binance. I believe this one does have the most historical data available to us. You might be wondering what this little red line is here. I put the others chart over this. So this is the others chart, right? For those of you that don't know what others is the total crypto market cap excluding the top 10. It's the top 125 coins excluding the top 10. Essentially, this is like your S&P 500 but for altcoins, right? It's more like the S&P 115, right? Excluding the top 10. But for altcoins.
Okay, if this is too fast for you, if the 2x speed is too fast for you guys, then I will just slow it down. But for me, it's like
on here just to show
it works. But if it's too fast,
this is the ETH to BTC
I understand.
Whenever we're going down, that doesn't mean Ethereum's losing value. It just means that Bitcoin's outpacing Ethereum. If it's moving up, that doesn't mean that Ethereum's gaining value. It just means that Ethereum's outpacing Bitcoin. Though typically they do go hand in hand, right? If Ethereum's outpacing Bitcoin, it tends to be because it's moving up faster than Bitcoin, right? When Ethereum outpaces Bitcoin, this is when we see alt season, right? A lot of people look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is a similar idea to that, right? Just another extension of that idea. Right? If we're looking at this, the other chart, you'll notice that alt season happens when Ethereum to Bitcoin is growing. Notice how we had the little pivot right there, right below us. We started to grow, and then when did we take our break? Right when Ethereum to Bitcoin was
I just want to see his knowledge.
Ethereum to Bitcoin starts to grow, and we have another alt season. We start to run up, right? Ethereum tops off, and altcoins continue to run, but the brunt of the alt season happened.
If he has ball knowledge,
altcoins can still grow, even without Ethereum growing versus Bitcoin. But even here, that like finale phase, the very finale phase of this 2018, 2017 bull market, Ethereum was growing more versus Bitcoin. It had already topped off versus Bitcoin, but it was still growing versus Bitcoin. That 2 month, that last
let's put crypto banter in.
Markets, right? Here, we're decaying, others is decaying as well. Ethereum's losing value versus Bitcoin.
Banter
that was that bear market going into 2018, 2019. Ethereum starts to grow versus Bitcoin here. Altcoins start to turn the tide. They're starting to grow too. We're not in full-blown alt season yet, but once we actually start to pick up the pace a lot here, once we grow at a more unprecedented rate, not anything like we saw back in 2017, but still,
crypto banter's B tier right now.
Altcoins really started to blossom back in like early 2021 of the last cycle, right? We haven't had this. Ethereum's been in the dumps this whole time. Altcoins, to be fair, they've actually held up. I know a lot of people are bummed on their altcoin backs, but the thing is, for how bad the ETH BTC chart has been performing, like you've had a bear market, ETH versus BTC. We did that last time. Look at how bad you did. You're holding up well. You're actually doing well. And if you're holding up well while the ETH BTC chart is doing absolutely terrible, what's going to happen when this thing starts to rip? Like you guys, we have a huge alt season coming our way. We really do.
I agree with him. I do believe we do have a very, very big altcoin season coming up. I know people are down because they see price going up and down, but you have to realize like the way the charts work, they need to go up and down a lot until they can't no more, so they can explode. It takes a lot.
And at this point, it's a matter of time. We're on the monthly chart.
Okay.
I think I made my point with that. Okay. We just look at this. Look at what's happened.
Okay, we'll go through everybody. Listen, we'll try to give each person a couple minutes. The stream might be long.
We've got potentially
right. The stream might be long. We'll. I just want to see. I'll instantly know. He already has great knowledge. He's already spitting facts.
This is a very legendary double bottom setup. Look it up if you want to look into it yourself. It's a very classic pattern. I love these patterns. We have an Adam and Eve pattern. It might even be. And I actually wouldn't expect it to be Adam and Eve. I think it might be an Adam and Adam. I do expect us to V out of here. And the most bullish double bottom pattern you can imagine is the Adam and Adam. V-shaped recoveries are immaculate recoveries, right? This of course was the last bull market. We're going to our They create a lot of volatility. I'm not saying that Ethereum has
Okay, who
to
cares about the
be BTC pair double bottoming, right? Altcoins have been holding up well even in the midst of this bear market of a trend that we've had versus Bitcoin here. What happens when everything starts going good? We're going to rip through the roof. Let alone the Bitcoin dominance drops, and that goes hand in hand. If Ethereum grows versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance is going to go down. Ethereum's the second best coin by market cap, right? I'm not saying that we're going to rip all the way up to new highs relative to this, but maybe we do. But any kind of growth from here, I would expect it's going to be at a very unprecedented rate. We're going to move up fast. We're going to see paces like we did here for that like quarter of a year right there, not even a quarter of a year. And I think it's going to be extended. It's going to be a longer amount of time. We're just recovering now, right? I don't expect this is going to be a 2 or 3 month long endeavor. This is probably going to last the rest
Thank
of
you
this
for
year.
the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for absolutely everything.
We're right on the precipice of it now. But does that mean that we're moving up straight the whole time? No, there'll be ups and downs and ups and downs, right? Bitcoin will outperform Ethereum certain months, and Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin certain months.
Also,
Overall,
I'm
I expect we're going
gonna
to see some immaculate growth. We look at the weekly time frame, and here you can see we're also in a downtrend in the weekly time frame, but we're poking our ugly head up, man. We're looking like we want to break out, and we're doing something different here. You notice we're doing something different here. Ever since we started this downtrend, oh, I can't draw a straight line to save my life. Let's try that again. Lower highs, right? Lower lows. Ever since we started this downtrend, you find a high, you go down. You find a high, you go down. You find a high, you go down. You pivot, you go down. You're going down. You're rejecting. You're rejecting. You're rejecting. Right here, we found our high, but we're consolidating. We're consolidating right now. Different behavior. In all these years, since 2021, different behavior. My theory is different behavior.
So he notices the small details, which are what I like. So far, he's like S tier, right? If you guys don't know the list, you know, maybe not everyone's familiar with lists. F, fail, D. I mean, I don't know how it is in America, but I assume it's the same thing. Like A, B, C, D, you should all be familiar with, and F2, right? F, fail. D is what? Between 50 and technically 59%. C, B, A. And then S is like if you got above 100%. It's like, yeah, you got to listen to this person.
That's
so far,
different behavior begets different results. The last time that
his knowledge is definitely S tier.
All the way back here in 2019, right? We've been higher lows since. But the last time they were at these levels of lows in the RSI was back in 2019.
I'm not really gonna value like thumbnails, titles. I'm not really gonna value thumbnails, titles, and that type of stuff in like video production, because like you could have the greatest video production, but the information might be so mediocre or trash that it does just whatever.
We rounded things out. We started to grow from there. We had a market cycle of our own with Ethereum versus Bitcoin. A lot of people think the bull market's over, that we're close to being over, but this chart, if anything, expresses that we have so much more left to go, you guys. And again, comparing it to the other chart, altcoins have actually held up rather well, given the circumstances. And they haven't held up well at all. If you're in the altcoin markets, you know, wishing that you're in Bitcoin, Bitcoin's done way better. I'm just saying for the circumstances, we're fortunate that the average altcoin isn't down 90% from last cycle's highs right now. You know what I mean? Like, they've actually held up well. What's going to happen when this chart starts to pop off, which I'm assuming is going to happen soon? Why do I assume that? We're doing things differently here at this point of resistance than we've done any other time. We're doing things differently. Different results, different behavior begets different results. 90% of the time. 99% of the time, right?
I agree.
Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but I have a strong feeling, man. I'm pretty convicted. 3-day RSI, super bullish, hanging out up here. We love to see it. Again, different behavior. You didn't just get up here and reject, get up here and reject, get up here and reject. You didn't do that. You're hanging out. It's like you're consolidating. It's almost like it's a bull flag. You're consolidating right between these areas that you've been rejecting for years now, for several years now.
We could also see, right, based off the technical analysis, like that big jump in the orange line. You know, last time we got it was in May of 2024. That was the last time we had like a big jump in the orange line on the 3-day chart. So
I think you're gonna get overbought, which you haven't seen on the 3-day time frame in several years now. This is a very important chart, I think. Watching this and seeing when we're gonna get overbought. Not only that, we can tell it's bullish. Speaking of break out of a downtrend, that first move is just a taste. The second move is the one that rips. And this, if you know anything about Elliott wave theory, it actually kind of correlates with that as well. Typically with Elliott wave theory, you know, you find your downtrend, you'll form, if you're looking for an impulsive move, you'll have a wave 1, which is a move up, a wave 2, which is your correction, which we're in the wave 2 right now. Wave 3 is typically the biggest move in the waves. Waves 3 and wave 5. Typically wave 3 and wave 5 are the biggest moves, which is exactly what I'm saying here, is that the next move up for Ethereum is going to be bigger than the last move up was. We're only going to grow at a faster rate on this next move, which at this rate, I can only assume is going to happen within the coming weeks. We're going to break out. We're on the precipice of hitting this overbought zone, which again, we haven't done since 2022 in August. May of 2021. Since guys. People are freaking out right now thinking that we're in bear market territory, but this chart's telling us we're at the bottom of this range. We have bullish things going on with our RSI. We've got an ascending triangle here, or a bull flag at the very least. We're at the bottom of the range. It's time to buy. Go on a shopping spree. Look at your favorite altcoin. Buy. Like the Backstreet Boys. Buy. We're gonna buy. Okay, we're gonna keep on buying and holding because alt season's about to start. We're about to rip to new
I agree with
him. Hit the like button and subscribe if that's what you're here for. But let's do the Ethereum price analysis now, okay? Ethereum, 1 hour time frame. A lot of altcoins look just like this, actually. They look just like this. Maybe they're following Mama Duck here, all the little baby ducks. You got this like bullish divergence forming, set up for a double bottom. I think you will get a double bottom. This makes me more confident. If you watched any of my videos today where I'm like, I don't know, are we gonna get a double bottom or are we gonna go lower? I've been leaning toward the idea of being at a double bottom and not going lower, but open to the idea of going lower. I'm not too confident one way or another. I'm pretty confident we're gonna get a double bottom here. You're getting into the oversold zone, you're not below, so if you go a little bit lower, you can't go too low in the oversold zone. Like I doubt you're gonna go to the zero. You know what I mean? So sure, double bottom here. Ethereum versus US dollar, not versus Bitcoin now, right? If Ethereum double bottoms here, I mean that's an immaculate looking chart right there, right? Dropped off, you're kind of Barting, right? Bart with horns. It's like a
okay, so I like the way he's saying. He's giving, see, he's speaking well. He's saying he thinks something is going to happen, but he's not confirming it based off analysis because there's no confirmation yet. Which something some people confuse even on my channel when they don't understand where I think something's going to happen. But it's a difference between analysis and confirmation and just thinking. Like when Turbo broke structure, right? When Turbo broke structure a couple weeks ago, that was a confirmation. I was saying we broke structure, and when we got consistent structure update, I was saying consistently there is no confirmation that we're going to the upside, we're going to the downside. Okay, and then I said where I think Turbo might go based off certain philosophies, but it doesn't mean it can't go lower, because then we need to see confirmation in that moment to see if it's reversing. But some people, Either they
cap,
don't listen,
cap,
they don't
I know, that makes sense
understand,
for Ethereum.
or
We got the Ethereum cap pattern going on. 4 hour time frame, bullish divergence
they
is
just
right
don't
here, right
like
now,
watch
showing
the
this
videos that
face.
much.
We got it right here, higher lows in the RSI, lower lows in the price. This low's higher than that low, yeah, but the RSI goes off of closing low, so you are lower than that closing low. You probably go lower. Typically bullish divergence, you'll expect, yeah, it happens like in the oversold zone, or at least at the oversold zone. I would think that we go a little bit lower, maybe to close out today.
Okay, so use
That's kind of
this-
what we did here. We broke out, but it
one of
didn't
these
immediate tip
tools.
right now, and probably before most of you were born, or at least when you were way young. This is something that's been going on for decades. It's not a new war, and the story's going on. This is since this whole conflict happened, and people are worried. If guys, if World War II is happening, we'd be done. We would be done. It would be done. Tensions have only increased over the past couple days, and the price is no lower than it was yesterday. That should say everything that it needs to say. It's the weekend. Lower volume should be easier to move the price, and that should say everything, right, in itself. But we're gonna move up.
Okay, so pretty solid. I have him in the S tier. I don't know. I have him. For like from his knowledge, right? I think he's pretty great. We could check out one more quick video maybe, but from what he was spitting is like, from what he was spitting just seemed like facts. Is there anything? Okay, so he loves this little like indicator. Okay, let's do a quick. Let's just do this one very quickly.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cesar, and we are talking about Litecoin today. LTC.
I agree. He's the
Hit that
one
like
to
button,
watch
subscribe if you want to see
often.
more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. Here we are on the 13th of June. Here, sitting at about 85. Bottom that you had off the oversold, and it's a clear rejection.
Okay.
Fake out here to the downside. I really do believe that this is just shakeout environment. We're shaking out the markets. You rejected this prior area of support, which is pretty sad. But down here, coming down just below that low and wicking this hard, makes me think that you probably will move up. That this is a low, and that you will see higher prices, right? If not, maybe go a little bit lower. But I'm not worried about the price. Even if it does go a little bit lower, I'm not worried about the price. Low to high here, tipping that 0.5, man. I mean, that's good enough for me. A lot of cryptos have been finding support at the 0.5. And what I've noticed actually recently, like over the past month, less so. I think we're starting to shift back to normality. Maybe, I don't know. But a lot of cryptos have maybe interacted with the 0.5, but then inevitably broken through it. I've noticed that we've been showing less respect on these areas as time's gone on. But Litecoin looks like it's showing respect on it right now. If we close here or around this area, we'll be at the 40 on the daily RSI, and that's a good area to bounce from. We bounced off of this last time. We did see some
About time.
Might be doing that now.
Review my Dino
Continuing to grow.
coin.
Maybe not by the end of this week. We got 2 days, 7 hours left in this week, but next week I think we'll be set up to be very, very bullish. Looking at the weekly time frame here, if we take a high to a low, you tip the golden ratio, coming down, find support at 382. I think that by the end of the week you will close above 382. Wicking below the 382 is fine, but ideally we wouldn't want to close below 87.15, so you probably do move up over the coming days. Let's see if we can validate that on the short term stuff. Let's look at the 1 hour and the 4 hour. 1 hour time frame breaking out its downtrend. You got a lot of volume here, a lot of volume coming down, right? As you're building higher, and you broke out of your downtrend, the RSI, looking powerful, man, looking very, very powerful. Again, if I'm wrong and this isn't the low, if you do go below this low, it wouldn't be by much. I think you find support very, very soon. This either is the low or it's very near the low. I'm going with the idea that it is the low right now, though. I think you're on your way higher. Doesn't mean you're just going to rip through the roof today, but you are on your way higher. 4 hour time frame, right in the same area that it's been finding support at the last couple of times. Lower lows each time, higher lows in the RSI.
See, the thing is, just like with technical analysis in general, I don't like how weak it looks again.
Right, let's actually just confirm that. Let's see. Closing low right there. Closing low right there, and a slightly lower low there. So yes, you have double bullish divergence. Litecoin, double bullish divergence on your 4 hour time frame. That's very, very bullish indeed, my friends. You just can't go anywhere, man. You can't. You're getting a lot of volume at these lows, but you're not going anywhere afterwards. That tells you there's a lot of buying going on. Unfortunately, a lot of panic selling going on. I would almost consider this to be a triple bottom, actually. I know it's slanted, but triple bottoms, you'll rarely hear me actually say, or triple tops, you'll rarely hear me have conviction in it, but I actually do have some conviction that this could be it, man. It's not pretty, but that's kind of the name of the game with these things. Yeah, it looks very, very bullish. I think we're gonna move up from here. The weekend, I don't expect much to happen. Up off. That's when we're getting above this point of resistance here.
Look, also the thing is, if he's wrong, it's not about always being right or wrong. You gotta remember, I'm wrong too sometimes. It's just part of technical analysis. Sometimes we misread. Sometimes we jump the gun too quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, because the weekly time frame, we want the weekly time frame to close. If it can close above the 87.15 cents, that's right. Yeah. Daily's looking bullish enough. We're at a good area to bounce. I think that we will bounce from here. We will continue higher. When we do continue higher, let's actually look at that. That's what I was trying to do, get these extensions on here. High, low here. The expectation would be to move up to something around 250, if not something between there and about like 450, maybe even new all-time highs between now and the coming. I would expect that we were. There's a whole lot of possibilities that could happen. Wouldn't be surprised in the least, but I am anticipating that we actually might break out to new all-time highs between now and the end of July as well. And if we do see new all-time highs, I want to take the last cycle's high to low, not the overall high to low. I want to take this. If we are at new all-time highs, I think something between $800, $780, and about like $1,200 would be where we are. So if Litecoin gets underway and it gets like the fire under its ass, man, we really could by the end of July be up at this area. But I'm starting to think less so that happens by the end of July. I'm starting to think more so by the end of July we're here, and then we're going to be getting set up probably throughout the rest of July, going into August.
Okay, so he anticipates things are going to start exploding soon,
higher,
which
rallying to the end
me and him are around the same type of like wavelength right now. Turbo to the moon. Yes, sir. Evening, lads. Okay, guys. What is up? What is up, guys? We're just reviewing some YouTubers. Crypto. Sorry, Z. Oh my God, what is his name? Zzar gets crypto. For me, you know, we just reviewed 2 of his videos, but from the knowledge he has, he so far is in the S tier, which is above 10 out of 10. Crypto banter. I put him in B tier. I honestly didn't see anything that bad. His live streams seem pretty informed. The fact that there's a lot of allegations of scams could, you know, we didn't do deep research, but I've been hearing people not put the brightest word into him. Some people are complaining in the comments that, you know, he said not to sell the other day and then things dropped. Look, man, unless he was giving out technical analysis in terms of leverage trading, I would give the same advice. For me, obviously not a financial advisor, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's really, really risky to be selling nowadays, especially when things go down a little bit, right? You don't really want to sell when things are down or for a loss. I don't know. Everyone has a different plan. For me, I'm just looking for A to Z. Maybe he has the same type of philosophy. So I put crypto banter in B tier. We obviously could adjust stuff. Caesar is in S tier, in my opinion. Really liked his technical analysis. We can see HTTR all day. Black Row. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Zbeck. Yeah, okay, we are definitely not watching one of the very long videos. Wait, is this a podcast? Shit. Okay, well, I guess this is how they do their format. Okay, let's see this one.
Back with Brother Real. Boom. Hey, we got something we're going to get into, and that is basically, is Elk Finance behind the scenes working with Swift Blockchain? Now, some people say, I don't even know what Elk Finance is. You're going to want to tune in more for this. And of course, you know, the drill. This helps benefit the channel. Decent wallet, not your keys, not your crypto. Get yourself a significant discount. We'll jump right back. If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price. They have kind of a similar use case compared to Swift Blockchain. And of course, we'll give you some of these Swift Blockchain updates. So for one, posted on May 27th from Elk Finance, says, good morning. I hope.
Do any of you guys know this person, these people? Crypto John.
You're enjoying the bull run. It's been a slow boat for many alts. However,
I'll just say from what I've seen, there's heavy evidence that Crypto John did scam his viewers. No, guys, I don't really know that many YouTubers. That's why this stream will be longer, right? You got to take things with a grain of salt, that I'm not going to go through every single video and I don't know everyone's history. So far, I mean, we've been streaming 37 minutes. We have 2 people down, but we will.
Now, one thing I want to point out to all you guys is basically this. I kind of feel like the same thing with Swiftcoin. Quietly working away, doing things in the background. They don't give us a lot of these updates, but they're clearly doing some things. And that's real eye-opening to me, especially in light of all the new recent regulation and hints of it. I shouldn't say hints of it. I mean, things are coming real soon, and we're in summertime. So what's the next big step? Well, Elk Finance points out their team's dedicated and hasn't missed a beat. We continue to create and refine our products. Again, I feel like Swift Blockchain does a similar thing. Now check this out for a moment. This is important. If you go to Swift Blockchain, for example, or Elk Finance, you'll see that they are actually followed by Swift Blockchain. And of course, they're even followed by Telcoin. That's interesting. Of course, oh, that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I know, because you covered, like, you know, Telcoin. But of course, you know, the focus on this is Swift Blockchain. So it's like, interesting. You know, sometimes we just.
So should I put Crypto John? Should I put him D tier? Because I know the scam thing was real. That was real. I know. I watched the video. That there was proof. There was proof that he did do that scammy thing. Which obviously, like, I mean, damn, you're not really supposed to do that to your own viewers. I mean, you're not really supposed to do that.
What's up? In today's video,
the fight begins. Crypto Summer. Let's see.
We're going to talk about the upcoming FOMC meeting.
I'll go back to the
the
person.
CPI data report, consumer price index.
We'll just confirm.
The last one just happened, and also my prediction as to what's going to happen in the next couple months. Crypto summer. So without further ado, grab your cup of coffee or tea, take a sip, and let's get on with today's video. So if we move on into the CPI data report, which this is an indicator of how much goods go up, prices. Ultimately, it's like our spending power, how we feel about our spending power. You see the market reacted bullish to this initially, right? But the big thing holding back the bullishness further is tariffs, which it says right here, tariffs are expected to fan inflation. And with Jerome Powell and Trump having this ongoing battle, it looks like Jerome is not going to cut interest rates anytime soon, at least for the foreseeable couple months of the summer. He likely might do it by Q3, Q4 this year. Q4 is my guess, which if that happens, you're going to see a huge bull cycle in Q1 2026. We're going to see a rally in Q4 and Q1 heading into it. You can see here, consumer price index increased 0.1% in May. Food prices went up. Eggs are a bit cheaper, which if you remember, those were very expensive not too long ago. They still kind of are, but it's good to see a bit cheaper. CPI advances 2.4% year on year. And then you can see the X factor is the tariffs. And when you go to the metrics now, you can see we're still in greed, which, you know, makes sense. Bitcoin is still, you know, above 105K. Market cap is still hanging about 3.3 trillion, and the altcoin season index is at 30. Okay. Now, I'm assuming this is not updated yet because the market is down today. I'm probably going to DCA today to sell my coins. Right now, we're in the part of the market where it's very boring, trading sideways, people are losing interest, and that's where naturally you want to buy. Anytime you see boring price action, that's when you should get excited and look to put money into the market. If we get a closer look at the market cap, let's pull it up. You can see we are trading sideways since June 9th, which is only a few days ago. And when you zoom out to the year, you can see
This reminds me of when December inauguration leading up to March, where the meme coins came out. Yeah, so right around there is when Trump came out with his own coin, and we're trading sideways since May 10th. So we're talking over a month that we're trading sideways. That's good. We're not yet at this level of support, which is below 3 trillion. If we go below 3 trillion again, that's where I'd be like, okay, we're going back to a correction for a little bit. So this is good. We're still hanging on. We're still doing very well there.
Okay,
Bitcoin
so not
dominance,
really
we're
real
still around 63.3%. However, Ethereum is
not really real technical analysis. I mean, it's just saying what he sees. So it's
very
like
close to breaking 10% again, guys. This is actually very good. This has to do with the Ethereum staking ETF. I think a lot of people are buying Ethereum on the day it got announced, or at least the anticipation thereof. You can see the altcoin season. You can see the other altcoins are around 27%. Okay, and I showed you guys how in the last year, Ethereum's dominance was, if we go to Ethereum's dominance back in May of last year, it was around 15.5%. And to finish the year, let's see. Okay, yeah, so around 12% to finish the year. So we're only 5% away from Ethereum getting close to where it was. That was when it was at 4K. And then for the altcoins, let's see where the altcoins were around May of last year, because that's when we saw a rally. So altcoins were around, we'll say 30%. So Ethereum 16, altcoins 30. So Bitcoin dominance was still heavy during that rally, which is why I say we're not in altcoin season. It was 53% to 46% altcoins. Very close, but it wasn't yet there. So what everyone is waiting for now in crypto is altcoin season when Bitcoin dominance goes below 50 and the slack gets picked up by Ethereum and altcoins. This is when Ethereum's going to be breaking 20% and the altcoins are probably going to break 35%. When we see that happen, it's going to be, all these DCAs are going to be like right to the moon. So it's going to be a very nice sight to see. In terms of coins I'm buying, so I've been looking at my watch list. I'm going to buy some.
okay, that's not bad. It's not bad knowledge. I mean, of course, I mean, here's the thing. Anyone can say, of course, once we go to 50% dominance, we're going to be like in altcoin season territory, which is like, yeah. Oh, damn. Agreed. I don't mess with John. I heard bad things. I don't deal with John since he got commercial. I believe it was too real, or I believe it was real too. Well, from what I've seen, it was like undeniable evidence, because someone made like a 40-minute video. John changed it. I used to like him, but I don't watch him that often anymore. He liked too many meme coins for my taste. Yep, I started watching him when he was heavy on quant. Then he jumped in meme coins and ran with it. Can you talk about exchanges versus cold wallets? My first time watching your channel, dude. I'll sub and start watching to see what you have to offer. Thank you so much, man. In general, I do technical analysis. I try to, keep people up to date. I do believe technical analysis is king. One thing I do sometimes criticize myself about is I don't do enough news or fundamentals, but I know so many channels. There's like so many fundamental news channels out there that I don't feel like I need to be so heavy on it, even though I do want to start implementing global news. But you mainly see technical analysis. Yeah, I haven't done a sponsored video or anything yet, which doesn't mean I won't ever, but the project has to be like, it has to be like 9.5 out of 10 at the minimum, because I'm not taking anything lower than a project that's great or excellent.
Utility coins are down, coins are down.
I am going to get paid for it.
That's the ones that are down the most. I look at my bag, I say, okay, do I have enough? If I have a lot, ease off, unless the huge discount to buy some more. If I see a bag that has a higher price average than I like, or I see a bag that's smaller than I would want it to be, I DCA. That's how I approach it. That's how I recommend you to approach it. Not financial advice, of course. And, this is the time where you're going to see a lot of coins just go under the radar. A lot of people are underestimating Ethereum right now. It's 2,700. On the last 7 days, we're up 7%, which is pretty decent from 2,600. And on the month chart, we're up 6%. So we are up almost $300 in a month, which is not bad. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And Bitcoin, the next milestone for this one is going to be 100.
See, I hate Crypto John is the perfect example, but people don't tell you why, or they don't tell you things what they expect in advance. The thing is, like, there's so many channels like this out there that just say what has already happened. And it's like, well, like, yeah, thanks, but it's like
20K. We're going to see a lot of selling pressure at 120K. And then from then on, that point forward, we're probably going to get right to 150K heading into the end of the year. Or, that's when we're going to see altcoin season take place, where Ethereum starts running up in XRP, Solana, mid caps, top 100, micro caps, meme coins. It's going to be a very good time, guys. I cannot wait. Personally, I'm just sacrificing another summer. I'm not saying I'm going to stay in my house all day, every day. I do have a dog anyway, so I can't really do too much in terms of until he grows up. But I'm just trying to save as much money as I can. Sacrifice, put the money in the market. I made a video recently saying the next 2 months are going to be a life-changing opportunity for you. I was not kidding. I'm dead serious when I say that. When you buy during these times, you always look back in hindsight and are very thankful. When I bought in 2022, the summer thereof, and I saw the run in 2024, everyone was like, oh, damn, I wish I was there for it. It's 2022. Same with 2023. Okay, we saw prices we never saw again. Now we're seeing discounts that we're probably not going to see again by the end of this year. Okay, so when you know that's what's been happening over the course of 2, 3, 4 years now, what do you think you should be doing? You should be buying the dips any way you can, loading up, working your ass off, and sacrificing. Okay, very quick video. If you want to join a support group now more than ever, it's crucial, especially during this time. I encourage you to join my Discord. You can talk.
Most won't even make it. All right, let's watch.
Let's talk about something today. So at the start of this video, Bitcoin is 106K. And I don't know if you guys follow me on X. If you want to follow me on X, link in the description. Beware of a bunch of scams. But I was poking fun at the sell-off we had the past 4 days of when Elon attacked Trump, and they were sort of having like a roast battle.
Let's see.
Freaking Elon was saying Trump was involved. And I'm like, the people react, they called each other besties. These whales know that retail is so easily shaken. They know that people are selling crypto based on what two men say to each other online, which is crazy. Because they know this, what are you going to see going forward? More manipulation. Right now, personally, and I saw Robert Malcolm, our blog, said the same thing. He's like, you couldn't tell if we're going to be friends, Trump and Elon again, or they're going to be just enemies from now on. Personally, I think they're going to squash it. I mean, I was here. I was surprised Discord. I'll put a link in the pinned comment down below, also description. Small $50 investment to make you a lot of profits. It is time now to surround yourself around like-minded people to change your life forever. If you want to talk to me, get the guidance from me, my group, see my bio works, my alerts, highly encourage you have something like this happening where it shakes the market and people just don't even know what to think, what to say, what to do, right? And as long as you maintain a level head and you're still stacking your cryptos, I mean, Bitcoin is only 106K. It hasn't come down far from 112K all-time high. I don't know. I think it's because the altcoins are down. People are more scared. But again, people don't understand. You only make money buying in the red. You don't make money buying in the green. This is why I say do not chase Bitcoin. Chase, I mean, if you're going to chase a large cap, chase Ethereum. He is trading today, $2.28. We're up on that, which is good. Market cap is still 3.3 trillion. But again, here we go to the altcoin season index, right? 28 out of 100. That's a 72 on a test. It's passing. It's good. Go buy your crypto. Okay. And now when you go to specific crypto, let's start with Bitcoin first. And you click the 7-day chart here, you can see we tipped down right when we started coming out to almost below 100K. I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, if Bitcoin goes below 100K, one, I know it's gonna get eaten up fast, but two, I was like, that's hilarious. It went from literally, you can see here in the time span, 9:20 in the morning, 105K, right down 5K to 100.8. It's crazy. And then literally a day later, back up to the same price. And now we're above that price. You see how stupid this was? Everyone who sold here literally.
I think looking into other crypto YouTubers is bad for your channel. It's kind of like political YouTube. Yeah, I understand, but I kind of don't care. I'm not here to make friends with people. That's the one thing I learned about life is I genuinely don't care. Like, I'm not here to cause drama. But I am here to do my absolute best so all of us can eat this cycle and
just wreck themselves. Imagine.
Yeah, you know, you call a spade, you know? If someone look, I know I'm overweight. If someone said, "Oh, you're overweight," I wouldn't get offended. I wouldn't. I'd be like, "All right, yeah, okay, I am." Okay, so it's like it's the same thing with if I see dirt, I gotta call it out. You know, I gotta protect the people. I'm not. I know this is because it seemed like political and stuff, but I'm not here to make friends with anybody. A lot of people get hurt because they listen to the wrong people all the time.
Dark Spirit was a huge first step towards a decentralized internet. A nice.
And here's the thing: YouTubers and everything, they don't have to be perfect, and you still need to be held responsible. Like, you can't just see a title, this coin 100x, and you blindly put in your money. No, because that's on you. But
check it out. My Discord members are actually using it. Some of them are using it on daily. It's very cool. Okay, hard to drop. Only 10% a week. This chart's looking better and better by the day. Cheap enough, or you have a chance to do so on chain. If Trump and Elon.
All right, well, he just does generic info, so I would put him in like C or B tier, but because of that whole incident, he's gonna go into D tier. Actually, I think it helps you avoid YouTubers that have bad technical analysis and like to scam. Not me. I think it's good to get honest opinions rather than everyone bigging up those who misled a lot of people. Facts. I see nothing wrong with it. I've seen other channels, great other channels. Do your thing, man. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a video ranking other channels too, but I think I'll chicken out, push it down the road, to be honest. Man got stopped out on all my positions in profit, of course. Oh, the ICP one? I see. Yeah, you were up a lot of profit, and then I know it got chunked down a good amount over the weekend or the last few days. Yeah, but guys, this is not drama. I don't treat this like, you know how like some YouTubers are influencers. They're like, oh, you did this, like this person, haha, slept with this person said this. It's not like this. This is serious. This ain't like high school drama. This is people's lives. This is people's money, right? You're investing a lot of time, energy, and money into these people. It's very, very important that people do listen to the right people, right? And if any of these YouTubers have a problem with me, well, just get better. No one's telling any of these people to scam or anything. Like I said, I'm not here to talk about the titles, clickbait, you know, if they get sponsored videos. Like, I don't care about that, right? If their whole channel is just sponsored video after sponsored video, like they do 2 sponsored videos a day, and that's all they upload, then I'm going to say, yeah, that's a terrible, don't listen to this person. They clearly don't care which project comes at them. They're just throwing, you know, they're getting money thrown at them, right? If they call every meme coin or crypto coin the next 100x, it's like, that only has so much value. If a channel here and there takes a sponsored video, a sponsored coin, like I said, that doesn't bother me. But if I saw a channel that does 2 sponsored videos a day, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's going straight to F because you're gonna lose your money.
Just get little hints without breaking.
It's not like I'm not attacking anyone personally either. You know, I'm not saying, oh, this person looks like this. Why is this person speaking like this? It's just all like, you know, how much value they add. As long as you didn't really lose money, and as long as you made some money, Epsilon, that's all that matters, right? Sometimes, you know, we don't get the long position we want. Sometimes it takes, you know, another entry, sometimes 2 entries, but then the reward is thing. I see you cover Zbeck. Game on. I'm all in, dude. I'm big on Zbeck. Me too. Me too. I'm going to be making more Zbeck videos now and in the future.
Any type of NDA. And I understand
I'm
it's
really high on
speculative, but it is
Zbeck.
worth pointing out. Another reason why I want to point this out is just on a simple Grok conversation. It says, while Elk Finance and Swift Blockchain share these commonalities, they differ in their approach. So for one,
Okay, so you're just reading it.
Swift Blockchain talks about, for example, both platforms foster ecosystem growth. Let's get more into actually the coin/token itself. So for one, this is Elk Finance, really low in the rankings. I doubt most people in our community have ever heard of this, exception of like your Michael Cornwells, or briefly a couple years ago on my channel, I introduced this on a live show. I never did a formal deep dive into necessarily Elk. I don't want to make this all about Elk, but keep in mind, we're always trying to find some gems. Are we not, real?
Yes, for sure. And I think Underdog Research Channel, shout out to him. When we were talking about Swift, he might have mentioned Elk, but don't quote me on that.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, shout out to Underdog. We miss you, brother. And with that also said, max supply of elk is 42.42 million. So that in itself is a sense of scarcity. Just a little warning, right? Some people point out, you know, max are always about good news. Well, is that such a bad thing? Well, here's some of the, I guess you call it bad news if you want to call it there. Only 11.99 million elk is in the self-reported circulating supply. So that's roughly close to about, what, you know, 1/4. But here's the key thing. While it's roughly around 20-25% in the circulation, you're still dealing with a maximum supply is very limited. This is not a coin that has billions, right? We're talking about millions. This doesn't have trillions. So that's very attractive, right? The other thing I want to point out also,
It's true, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Is on the 1 year, you know, it's about down about 70%. Well, guess what? Sometimes you want to catch things when they go the other direction, right? Okay. Of course, compared to all time, right? I'm not trying to hide this information or nothing like that. All time, huge difference, right? So for one, let's go over here. So all time lows says about 4 years ago. But I'm thinking we're really actually this is all time lows. Like some of the data from CMC might not be completely accurate. Sometimes we should go to like CoinGecko. I would really encourage that. We're not gonna do it for this particular one, but I think you get the gist of it. I mean towards this is kind of somewhat close to all time lows. So there's definitely opportunity here. Could it tank more from where it's at? Absolutely. Crypto is very volatile, as we know. So but all time highs was in the year 2022, and of course it went to $5.61. So the potential here is massive. So again, when we look at Swift blockchain, when it was doing some things, I feel as though that got activated. It's saying that's utility empowering devs, users, 3+ blockchains, so on and so forth. When you get into a website, very interesting, very well.
So they're like an information channel.
Here, so on. I want to show you more of again some of these key things. So let me jump down. And like I said, the ElkNet is the heart of our solution. ElkNet smart contracts, again, they have smart contract functionality, which is really cool. Tokens deployed to ElkNet are immediately native on supported chains. So there's no issue of, well, it's going to settle in Elk. Seems as though it would settle in Elk. As I pull this further down, I want you guys to see this. It's actually a little bit more about.
I've heard people throw the name Cookie around recently, but I don't know what it is. What is Cookie about?
The whole thing of bridge as a service. Let's pull this up for a brief moment. And as we take you through that, you're going to see Ethereums, your Polygons, like your, you know, a token built on something else. It seems like you're Stellar. Is this the time to jump into it? Well, that would be financial advice. I'm not giving you financial advice. Do more of your own research and come to the conclusion yourself. But whatever the case be, I do feel as though it's a big deal to get into this. And if anything, Rue, on our next video, we're going to get more into this, but Hong Kong says stablecoin regulation, call it cliffhanger. I do want to get some of your thoughts about this potentially with Swift blockchain. It does seem like they have some ground.
Well, just if you go back to all the connections of blockchains it works with, again, there have been connections with Harmony One and Rambo Land. Rambo Land's the CEO of Swift, and I think we got some others on there as far as like IoTex. All of these are kind of like IoTex is in the Draper Dragon portfolio, so there's definitely a lot of connections here with Draper Dragon, Harmony One, and so on, right? Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, it's hard to judge just off 1 or 2 videos, but I think I'm going to put them in the A tier. You know, they don't really do technical analysis, but they, in terms of the fundamental side, they clearly know their information, right? They clearly know a few key people, so I'll put them in A tier. Maximus Crypto. Oh, what the hell? It's like it's listening to me. Oh my god, it's so long. 2 a day. Wait, is this one of the guys from... Am I tripping? Is this one of the...
Back with Brother Real. Boom.
Is that him? Okay, let's see.
H-bar. will directly benefit from exponential AI adoption in 2025. We're going to share with you why it's a big deal and a little hint. NVIDIA. Who doesn't know about NVIDIA at this particular day and age? Is here, smash a like if you haven't done so already. Let's get into the material and why it matters to you. First thing I'm going to pull up on your screen
Lots
is
of supportive
again,
comments.
And what does he have? It's this. He states, yes, H-bar, Hedera, H-bar will directly benefit from it all. For one, it's documented. What was he referring to here? Well, I cited these guys before. It's Hive Mind Capital. 9 themes we're excited about, in 2025. I'm not citing something from a long time ago, 2025. So it states here that, this dates back to January earlier. Again, new year, new opportunities. 9 themes of their investment team launching in 2025. Unsurprisingly, AI plays a role in many. Well, no kidding, right? Take it to this next part. What we have for you is the identities. How many times we talk about identities? Well, for one, back to HiveMind.capital. And like you see here, the AI revolution demands trust. How many enterprises in the Hedera ecosystem? This makes enterprise-grade AI video.
So information, so fundamental type channel again.
As artificial intelligence, accountability,
and of course the quant network. Say what you want. That has always been a big deal moving forward. Let's get over to our panel, which is Jesse of Apex Crypto Consulting and also Channing over at King Channing. Go ahead and take it away, gentlemen.
That's crazy. Like NVIDIA, like one investment in like one country, $500 billion, like $500 billion, one investment. And then you see like how Hedera is going to be crucial for the data and all that stuff for the actual SIM cards, stuff like that. Yeah. So I have a bit of a dilemma, my friend. Is I was debating this if I was going to have to sell an arm to buy more quant, but now I got to maybe sell it.
It's a DAO that tracks and agents. Not for me, but Hype is doing well. This might follow. Yep, that's Max. Based on what measure you estimated if an influencer is good or bad? I think Jim. Oh gosh. So okay, so this is it. So it has nothing to do with the title, has nothing to do with their clickbaity, has nothing to do with their thumbnails, it has nothing to do with their looks or anything, nothing personal. It's strictly what type of information they're giving, right? I understand not everyone's technical analysis, which is why I started, because I didn't see actually much technical analysis. You could like for me, like you could always criticize me that I don't do enough, fundamental news updates, not enough updates other than like Turbo and stuff. All the other videos you share are just technical analysis. So you can obviously always criticize me there. The same thing for people that only do like fundamental news and a lot of research. You can always, criticize them for technical analysis, but I'm not really being hard on that. It's practically like just adding value, right? And if they have a history of scamming, because obviously if you have a history of scamming, you're not trustworthy. I mean, you're literally, you're literally a thief, right? So it's just how much value. It's how much value you add. It's how trustworthy you are. And if you just say generic stuff like, oh yeah, this went up, I think this can go down, I think this can go up, that's not really good information. That anyone, like literally my mom can say that, right? So you're not really adding value. So you wouldn't be, I wouldn't put you in like F tier or D tier, right? You wouldn't be considered trash or failure, but you're going to be probably like C tier, where you're just kind of saying what you see, nothing crazy, right? If you're like a channel that only takes, says this, every coin is a 100x coin, right? The next 100x, then it's probably, not trustworthy because you will get wrecked. People that can do just a good delivery on technical analysis and fundamentals are probably gonna be closer to like A or S tier. Like this guy seems like he's like an A or S tier for me.
Like I said, very, very, very adamantly, Hedera is my number 2 for a reason. Hedera.
We did do this is the list so far. Oops. So you can see Cesar really liked his technical analysis. I know exactly what the hell he's talking about. So Ruel Black, right?
Hedera is sick. Like people are not focusing in on. They are tackling the brand names. As a matter of fact, they just had a brand new governing council member, and they're a major $28 billion corporation. And I got a bill coming out about Hedera $1 billion in one night. Think about what that means for when institutional capital flows into a process. What is the standard? ISO TC 307, Overledger. Oh, perfect. And they are not just
it's so crazy. It's so insane.
All right. So
no, I was gonna say, what do you think, Max?
Well, I don't really have much to add to that because the way I look at it, I just share what I have with the research. I present it, let you guys two jab it out, have a good conversation, and we just leave people to draw their own conclusion. There was one guy a while back that said that we say insane too much. So that said, the key word of the day is insane, and we'll know that you listen to the entire outline on behalf of myself and these insane gentlemen.
That's it. At least, you know, he's really good with the information, clearly. You know what? I'm going to put him in S tier. I know I value technical analysis a lot, but he seems to be doing heavy research, right? And people that are going to do tech fundamentals, if they're going to be, you know, doing heavy research, they're going to be representing the data, then I will put them in S tier. Oh. All right. Obviously we could always readjust stuff. Obviously people have different views. Crypto Savvy is cool, but he's a perma bear. Yeah, if you're a perma bear, then grow rich, grow happy. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. I also might split it up, right? I might split it up into fundamentals and technicals because I know it's hard to judge, right? A lot of influencers say they have their private Discord push a product and later on sell it. Wait. A lot of influencers, they have their private Discord push a product and then later sell it to others on their YouTube channel to help their private. Is that not misleading either? That is misleading. That is misleading. Well, like, look, I get it. Like, it's not necessarily like if you talk about a coin, no, okay, well, if you're talking about just pushing it onto the YouTube people so the private community can sell it, that's bad. But if you talk about them talking about it like a week or two later, while it's already been pumping up, then that's fair because obviously people
Today's message. Now, today's
paid
message.
for
I saw this over
extra
on LinkedIn.
valuable
Make sure you follow me on
information.
LinkedIn. My information is down below. And I saw this and I said, this is so relevant to the Grow Rich Grow Happy community, guys, the free thinkers. I want you to listen up really good. It says, I'd rather be rich because I watch
a lot of different crypto channels. Yeah, I know. It seems to me a lot of you guys watch so many channels, which is like it's good. It's good. Because if you found a lot of great channels and you see like consistent bias, that means probably, you know,
versus broke because I was skeptical. Whew, that hits hard.
You probably have a good
back all my
circle.
Grow Rich Grow Happy, that place where we follow the breadcrumbs of wealth. Guys, I got some breadcrumbs, but before that, I want to tell you, to me, that whole being I'd rather be rich because I was curious rather than broke because I was skeptical. This is what you see in cryptocurrency. This is what we see. I'm using Zebic because that's what we're talking about. That's what you see in Zebic. There's a lot of skepticism out there. There's a lot of FUD. And it's mainly because they're skeptical. And I don't listen to any of that stuff. I stay away from it, but I do entertain a little of it just so I can try to make it make sense and show you guys why you have to make up your own mind and debunk some of these things. To make it in life, you have to take risk. You have to. You're not going to win them all. And I echo what Mark Cuban said. He said, you only have to be right once. That's it. The rest of it.
It's my dog going crazy, guys.
You ain't gonna even remember. In cryptocurrency, guys, we take a lot of gambles, we take a lot of risk. But you have to remember, you only have to be right one time.
Okay.
You and your family's life. So, guys, this video, you know, I'm finally here, right? This video, we're gonna talk about today's spaces that Zebic had with their new partner, Mixi, which is an AI gaming platform. Well, Launchpad. And guys, it blew me away. They dropped another nugget on us. You know, yesterday they dropped AI tech on us, and today they dropped Mixi. A lot of you might have missed it. Make sure you future Zebic millionaires the goals we have set for ourselves. And I believe nothing is going to change that fast. Channel for you, make sure you smash that like button, give me a sub, hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a video. Check out down below all the freebies. Get you a Tangent wallet, cold storage, where you can safeguard your crypto from these thieves out here, guys. It'll be yours, your keys, your.
Most of my guys are technical. Yeah, I didn't think there's many technical analysis people
down below that does go to support the channel. I thank you in advance. So let's talk about this partnership, guys. So I learned a lot about Mixi today. One, these guys are
okay. So this is...
and you're thinking of a game. You know, there's so many games out here, but. I mean, guys, that is groundbreaking. That is something different, and that really harnesses the power of AI, guys. That would be so amazing. So it is so amazing, and it's so original that I learned today that particular company, Mixi, and I'm telling you a little bit about this. See, before I leave you off, let's jump up here and look at this Zebic price right now. At the current making this video, guys. This is
okay. Well, he's like in the B category right now because like if you're gonna be saying something, you should like about something, you should usually sometimes show it. Unless maybe like, no, I don't know if that's over, if I'm being too critical, but I don't know if I'm being too critical. But I usually would like to see some type of proof, right? If we're talking about news, you know, pull up an article. Okay, like he does it here. He has some AI showing here. Check them out above. Wait. Oh. Let's see.
Assets that we talk about, as I'm telling you, when things start, important points, and then one of them was here. They are staying airing tomorrow, June 11th. And
Okay, so this is
it's
okay.
mountain time for me.
He does
But
do
I
this
did pin this on my
sometimes.
X page. Important partnership is between. See, the thing about this, there's not a lot. Some people are against AI. They think we're getting a little bit carried away with it, and I admit it can be going overboard. But I adopt that AI. It's more help than harm if you use it the correct way. With AI, you can do so many things and make your life better. I have all type of Apple dots throughout the house and everything. And as you can see right here, I got this little box here. It can learn. I don't play with it.
I'll put him in A tier. Put him in A tier. Saying grow rich, grow happy. I know this guy, he made a tier list. Do you want me to be covering some of the big boys or no? Holy, there's just so many people. I didn't expect to be going through so many. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna judge him off this video.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Stock Holiday, right back at you again with the latest and the greatest in these cryptocurrency markets. Do your boy a quick favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get it. What's going on in cryptocurrency, man? There's a lot of things going on, but I know one thing. I'm seeing these altcoins are being stagnant. The altcoins are not moving. What the heck is going on with these altcoins? I'm really getting tired of cryptocurrency. I'm really getting tired of this talking about this altcoin season. Things is going to come. When are we going to see the altcoin season? Even the dogs in the backyard are wondering what's going on with altcoin season. You know what? I'm really getting tired of cryptocurrency. I'm hearing a lot of folks with that sentiment. A lot of folks are talking about how they are having cryptocurrency fatigue, altcoin fatigue, Bitcoin fatigue.
Okay, well, he's not gonna show anything, so we could start preparing the other videos
Why
too.
is my portfolio not going to the moon? We're going to talk about some of those things in this video, so y'all hold tight. Hit that like button. We're going to talk about the sentiment of the market. Currently, right now, Fear and Greed Index is at 52. We are at the neutral stage. We did see the greed a few weeks ago. There was a lot of excitement. A lot of folks were starting to really pay attention. Once again into cryptocurrency, then boom, we are right back in the neutral. The Fear and Greed Index is at 52. Bitcoin dominance 63.97, pretty much 64%. We got really close to seeing the Bitcoin dominance dip below 63%. But Bitcoin is holding strong, and we cannot complain, can't cry that Bitcoin is strong, because Bitcoin is the father of cryptocurrency. As long as Bitcoin is doing good and being sufficient, then the altcoins will be okay. Ethereum 9.39%. As long as we don't see the Ethereum dominance get below 9%, I could take this, I could stomach this, because we have been talking about phase 2, which is when Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. So we've been seeing a lot of that, so that's definitely a good sign. But currently,
He just jumped from C tier to B tier because he does. I thought he's just gonna read very, very basic stuff, but he does have knowledge.
right now, Bitcoin is at $104,692. You cannot cry, you cannot complain at that level of.
He just
value for
talks.
Bitcoin. $104,000, almost $105,000.
So like B tier,
I
right?
did not see no tears. Wipe your eyes.
I thought he was just reading off whatever. So I was like, okay, well, this is kind of like what anyone can do, but he does have some knowledge.
Get that tissue. Wipe the corner of your eyes. I bet not see a drop of water. I don't want to see no crime, because we are sticking to the 4-year cycle. We're standing on it, and we're trusting the fundamentals that we have been adhering to for the past few years. What is Ethereum doing? Old man Ether is holding strong. He's kicking back. He's going to enjoy his weekend. Matter of fact, he's in the backyard right now telling the dogs to relax. Altcoin season is going to be okay. Telling the birds to relax. Even the birds out there chirping right now saying, stop all of that. What's going on, man? Where's altcoin season? What is Solana doing this? What happened to our meme coins, XYZ? Everybody is in a frenzy. Everybody is concerned. The market sentiment is so scattered. $2,508 for Ethereum. I'll take that. Just a few months ago, we know we did see $1,400 for Ethereum, so we got to take baby steps. It's not going to happen overnight. But to see the fact that we did go from $1,400 to $2,500 in 2 months, that's a success.
Those are the ones that covered the most solid ones I named. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm such a turtle. I'm genuinely a turtle when it comes to doing things. All right, I'll put him. So he looks like an unk. All right, this is like someone's granddad or something. This guy looks like an absolute legend.
Low price once it come down. If you were buying turbo when it was a penny and a half, now
from what you guys are saying, he doesn't really know how to use maybe technology the best or something. So we'll put in B tier. We'll put in B tier. He does have some knowledge, like has knowledge, knows ball, should show screen. There you go.
when it got back down to 0.001, 0.002.
Okay, we'll he looks like a cool unk though. 0.25 feasible. Here's why I'm still choosing beam. Okay, let's see the update. Okay, let's see these two videos because I'll definitely know if he's BSing or if he's not.
I have something which I think is an interesting.
I'll know if he's BSing or not. Don't worry. Harley, we will go through your list in a second. We'll also go through some of your other guys, YouTubers.
Update when it comes to Zebic, and I have mixed feelings about this, and I'm gonna get into it later. But let me explain what it is all about first, because not too long ago, Zebic, they posted on their X account, they said, "Enjoy a first look at our new TV campaign." It says coming to major networks this summer. Now, why do I have mixed feelings about this? Because when I take a look at something like this, I don't really get the benefit, but then I kind of understand it in the grand scheme of things. Now, let me explain why I kind of don't get it first, and let me explain later on why I think this could still be pretty good nonetheless.
Jerry the
Because
Turtle.
when I take a look at Zebic, I view it more so as a project that's kind of focused on the institutional side of things. I get it, they have the cars and whatnot, but that's more so for like enthusiasts, right? That's more so for like people who are really in this space, in my opinion. So putting TV campaigns, putting ads, I wouldn't have done that personally because I just kind of feel like if I was running a project and it was kind of the vibe of Zebic, I would feel that it's a waste of resources personally, in my opinion, because this is not a meme coin, right? But then 99% of the people that I know practically, I don't think if they saw this ad, they would even know what Zebic's all about, or they would even bother. Because even if, let's say, two massive projects that I believe in.
Sometimes a lot of influencers work like the news network. They hear something from another influencer, then they just start pushing the same thing, but with no fundamental, no conviction. Yeah, that is true.
Take a look at something like Avalanche. Take a look at something like, let's say, Algorand. Two very massive layer one blockchains.
Well, do you think that's what Stock Holiday was doing? It's hard for me to say, like, obviously, when people start bandwagoning stuff.
Way bigger than Zebic as of right now. If they put an ad, still 99% of the people that I know would not know what that is. So what is the point, in my opinion? Now I get it, it's kind of like pushing the, awareness of Zebic.
I also don't think I think there's a lot of, like, mediocre people, like, mediocre between, like, underwhelming to pretty good in this industry that are still technically a net positive.
Which I think in the grand scheme of things could still be hypothetically pretty decent, but just in the space that we're in as of right now, I kind of don't get this. But I still kind of view this as being a slight positive nonetheless, because from what I've seen as of right now, when people typically
thank you to those that are liking the stream, it helps out a lot. Thank you so much.
Hype the narrative. And I think doing stuff like this kind of puts it out there that, hey, Zebic is at least doing something. While I may not necessarily kind of agree with the strategy, I still think it's good nonetheless because it's giving updates, and I think it kind of showcases that the project actually treats this seriously. So then it has a good part to it, but again, I have mixed feelings because I thought it was a little bit unnecessary, and this is why I think it's an interesting update, because it's 50-50 in this case. Or should I say more so 80-20? Let me correct myself there, because it's okay, but I just didn't get it. Now, does that mean that all the other updates that I saw when it comes to Zebic were necessarily bad? No, because of course, when it comes to the Zebic cards, if I see new partnerships, I do like seeing that, and I think it's good for the Zebic cards. And also when I take a look at how Zebic has, quite essentially investors like Circle, which is the creator of USDC, and again, Circle just recently went public. So that's very amazing. Not to mention as well, Swan Ventures is allegedly one of the major investors in something like Zebic, again, allegedly. So then the way I take a look at it is that when it comes to Zebic, it has those type of backings, but then this kind of feels like, wow, why did they do that? You know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily diminish Zebic as a project because I still believe in it, right? Zebic is still focused on AI-based
You were
PFI, still
just
focused on payrolls,
speaking.
still focused on RWAs, it's still focused on, the global trading finance market, the payments market, it still has the cards and whatnot. So I still like the direction. And I think this, if anything, kind of showcases that no project is perfect, because as much as I do like Zebic, there's going to be sometimes moves like this.
Lee the Captain. Lee the Captain is absolute trash. LOL. I just found your YouTube channel not that long ago, and I think yours is good. A-OK Sniper. Thank you so much, Harley. I think I got a good... See, some of you guys watch consistently. I really don't. I really don't. Like, I watched a handful, so less than 10 no BS crypto videos over the last 2 years. Maybe a handful of the House of Crypto over the last 2 years. So a maximum combined with those two is like 20. Maybe I watched like 35 videos over the last 2 years about like just crypto stuff.
this, which I don't really agree with. And I think that's totally fine.
And
because I think the grand scheme of things,
that's
it's really
being
good. Like,
very
for
generous.
instance, let's say I'm doing like an exam for calculus 1, let's say, and I was very good at calculus, by the way, actually. But even besides that point, you know, let's say in the exam I get a couple mistakes.
Okay, so this is
it does recover. So I'm supposed to, hey, you know what? I'm going to believe in the projects that I have conviction in, and whether or not it does good or does bad, only time will tell. But at least I can take a look at.
There was no price prediction. Okay, let's.
I'm choosing Beam because I like it. And seeing it
I know you said he's trash. I know you say he's trash, but let's
the price of 25
let's give him a
cents
chance.
wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, even though that's not financial advice. But some people might be thinking, okay, what bull run, man? The bull run when it comes to altcoins, they're done. It's over with. But really, in my opinion, we've seen time and time again, the market hypothetically does recover again. Now I get it. When it comes to
this lead just kind of
but this different thing happened. Oh, this different thing happened. But in my opinion, again, historically, even if we take a look at the S&P 500, it kind of showcased that, you know what?
Does he show a chart or is he just giving his opinion?
So I'm not worried about what's going on with Beam as of right now. I still think it's a very good project for me, and I'm gonna still stay patient because some people out there like to say, oh, why don't you wait for Beam to go to the price of 5 cents before you believe in it? Well, why would I do that? Because why would I want to acquire something that is like, you know, high in price as opposed to when it's low? You know, like for instance, right? If I go to Costco or something like that, wouldn't I like it if the price was lower? You know what I mean? Like lower than originally I got it. Let's say in a make-believe scenario. That would be awesome, right? Like the same goes, for instance, if I want to acquire like rice or, you know, potatoes or whatever the case may be, I would of course like it if the price was at a discount. But then, for whatever reason, a lot of my friends out there, when they see the price of their favorite projects go down, they're just like, oh yeah, nah, you know, this is bad. And of course, it's going to vary on a case-by-case basis because I'm totally aware of the fact that, of course, people may not view this
Crypto
space as
mindset.
I would, right? But then the way you take a look at it is that if I believe in blockchain gaming, if I believe in this altcoin space generally speaking, and if I believe that Beam, with a very amazing community, could maybe hypothetically showcase something during a fully fledged type of altcoin season, I don't see why I would be like, oh yeah, the price is low, I'm out. Well, in my opinion, if I like a project, and if I liked it months ago, why wouldn't I like it right now? This is just my point of view. If I like a project, I like its fundamentals, and I see the price is low, hypothetically, I'll try to dollar cost average. That's really about it. I cannot control the markets. I cannot control when things, you know, pump and all this.
Oh, technical analysis. Okay,
So if I believe in a project,
I'll know
that
right away
market is
within
gonna
2
recover
minutes if he's good or
I'm
not.
gonna believe in something like Beam because I like the narrative. When it comes to blockchain gaming, I get it. It's not good as of right now, according to many people. Many of the blockchain games out there are really not that amazing at all. But in my opinion, Beam kind of brings its own flavor because sure, it may just kind of be a boring blockchain gaming project people may feel like, but I think it has amazing features. Like for instance, right? We take a look at how Beam is an open source blockchain specialized for gaming, and one of the main components of Beam is the SDK, which is a software development kit. That's what it stands for. And this allows game developers to choose from a variety of tools that can be used to feel and structure their in-game blockchain elements. So that's pretty, you know, pretty cool. Nothing revolutionary really, but I think it's still pretty interesting nonetheless. You know, when I take a look at Beam, it has other features, like for instance, Beam Swap, which is a decentralized exchange. There's also the Beam Layer 0 bridge. There's Sphere and NFT Marketplace. There's the Beam OS, a portal for exporting tools and apps on the chain. There's also the Beam Block Explorer.
So far, I'm leaning lead the captain to like C tier. Like he's not really giving me anything.
There's other
Like
features,
if I was investing my time, which I am right now, but obviously there's a specific context, I would be like,
the real McCoy for me is blockchain gaming. The other
what
stuff
am I
is just
even
like,
listening to right
you know,
now?
when we eat some food and they put some toppings or whatever, it's cool, it's interesting, but I think this is the main course. You know what I mean? The other ones are
That makes
appetizers, if
sense.
that makes sense. So when I take a look at Beam, I don't think it's bad for me. As of right now, all I can do is stay patient, and really that's about it because the market is going to wake up.
See, like D and F are more for like scammers or people that like I gave you a great example of a channel that just consistently takes sponsored videos, and that's all their channel is.
When it wants to, I can't control that.
But I haven't really like from the 2 videos, I haven't really like. The only thing he said is Beam is good, and he gave a little bit of information.
Take a look back in history, and I'll see that hypothetically altcoins usually as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around.
And he said, okay, well, yeah, I'd rather buy low than, you know, when things go higher. So it's like
months after a Bitcoin halving event, which based on the last Bitcoin halving event would actually mean around October this year. And I get it, you know, people may think, oh, but it's not going to be entirely accurate. And I'm totally aware of that because each cycle is going to be different in my opinion. And also on top of that, it's not going to be just this exact date every
you know,
single time.
I will put crypto John F because he did scam. I think once you scam, you're just
historically as a worst case, this isn't even supposed to be the time in theory for altcoins to peak. So why would I randomly just give up like that? It wouldn't make any sense. Now I'm not saying I'm going to be 100% correct because I can't tell the future, but at least I can just stay patient and that's it. For instance, we take a look at Charles Hoskinson, who's not only the co-founder of Ethereum but the founder of Cardano. Back in November last year, he said 1 to 2 years from then, he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. Well, let that sink in. A year to 2 years from November of last year. So that's best case scenario timeline November. And again, Charles, I don't think he can tell the future, but then at the same time, he is the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Cardano, so I'm going to pay attention. With that in mind, all I can do is just believe in the projects that I believe in and just wait, that's it. But again, being at the price of 25 cents, keep in mind if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $12.5 billion. It's around 42x from here currently. And now that market cap, I don't think it's too crazy because we've seen something like Dogecoin exceed over $80 billion market cap, and that's back in 2021, keep in mind years ago. So if let's say the factors as of right now, which I think are actually more bullish because we take a look at how there's over 600 million crypto owners.
Why did he
according to
compare
Crypto
this
more than ever before in
to
history?
Doge?
And I get it hasn't really reflected that when it comes to the space, and of course, it's not just only determined because of that. But in my opinion, if let's say the market does recover again, and let's say there's a lot of bullish sentiment again when it comes to the markets just in general, I just kind of feel that really the factors that we see right now, again over 600 million crypto owners, and let's say we see that fully fledged type of altcoin season, I just feel like, man, that amount of crypto owners could maybe theoretically be more because if we have over 600 million currently, what would we have if let's say Bitcoin went to 200,000 or let's say the altcoin season really kicks into 5th year and let's say the market starts recovering and let's say everything starts doing good.
But some, yeah, Lee's the captain C tier. I wouldn't call him D. I wouldn't call him B. He's not really giving me a price predict. I just want to, he's not really giving me anything. Give me something, bro. He's not really giving me anything. Okay, I'll look
I
at
am
the
still very
scammer in a
optimistic
second.
when it comes to the future of Casper, and no, it's not only just because
I
I'm
think
sure
I'm
it
gonna
kind of matches Casper.
start
Beyond
playing
that,
the
it gets
captain.
$2. That is my price target for this one, even though nothing I say is financial advice. But even besides that, I think the space as of right now, there's nothing really quite like Casper in my opinion, because yeah, sure, we see many layer 1 blockchains out there like Avalanche or Algorand, for instance, right? It just kind of feels like a little bit oversaturated in some cases because we have so many projects just basically trying to become a layer 1 blockchain. And really, a lot of the statistics really isn't that much different because, you know, the blockchain
Okay.
technology space as of right now is so good to the point that a lot of these layer 1 blockchains, they
I'll
feel the
start
same. So then one
going
steps in and is like, you know what,
to
we're a bit different
crypto
here, we're well
mindset.
back, and that is something like
What was the
Casper.
other guy you said?
This is how amazing it is. So again, when we take a look at Casper, something that is not only proof of work, but then around allegedly not too long ago, you know, it has been in some cases I've seen reported to be around 600 times faster than Bitcoin. This is something that I think is very fantastic because a lot of these layer 1 blockchains out there that I see, they're using proof of stake. Nothing wrong with that, but really proof of stake doesn't have that reputation of that rock solid reliability of something like Bitcoin. But then here's the thing, even though Bitcoin proof of work is very reliable according to many people, people like to complain that sometimes it's a little bit slow. Again, especially when compared to many of the other options. Like for instance, right, the transaction finality time of Bitcoin is around 60 minutes, so that's around an hour. But then if we take a look at something like Solana, that's around, you know, 2.5 seconds. So then we gotta imagine that. It has come a long way, this whole space. And a lot of people again think, oh, proof of work, it must be slow and all this because Bitcoin uses it. But again, Casper's kind of changing the way people view proof of work. And they're like, you know what, it's not slow actually. You know, in this case, it could maybe actually be very fast. So this is what I like about it. However, of course, it doesn't mean that Casper is perfect because it's far from it. Like for instance, when we take a look at KRC20s, now, this is like very similar to Ethereum's ERC20s in a sense that through KRC20s, people can build tokens out of Casper. So again, I'm just gonna talk about this, right? KRC20s are not that good, generally speaking, in my opinion. Like most of them are random meme coins that we don't really know. I mean, they did well, like a little bit in a sense, back when Casper was doing very good, but now because of the pullback, a lot of these, you know, KRC20s, we don't know what's even going on with a lot of them. You know, this is just my mindset, right? At least like hypothetically be something special. But this is all just a waiting game because, of course, mass adoption, it's not going to happen in the next 6 to 10 months. But some people may be kind of like, you know, shocked at this because they're like, oh, what do you mean? That means Casper can't do good during a fully fledged run. Well, take a look at Casper. It did well not too long ago. You know what I mean? And even with the pullback, Casper, it's still arguably one of the biggest projects out there. And don't get me wrong, the altcoin space isn't doing the best, generally speaking. You know, there's no exact way to tell which projects will do good. At Charlie and maybe.
Okay, he's C tier. He's C tier. He's not really giving me anything. Obviously, it's just been like 2.5 videos, but okay, yeah. Let's see.
Good morning everyone, Alessandro here and welcome to another Bitcoin price analysis. We have a new trading setup, guys. I am currently going long, I'm scaling into a long position, even though of course it is still a bit risky. I'm going to show you why exactly that is the case. But first of all, thank you very much for your great support, guys. We are hitting 241 subscribers. Thank you very much. Shout out to the community. We're going to most likely...
Or who the hell is this guy? I thought he was bigger. Same guy with 200 subscribers.
...the next $100 giveaway on 500 subscribers, guys. So we have a time, of course, to accumulate more people and then of course do a nice giveaway for everyone. And of course...
How'd you even find this guy? Dude, I thought I misread. I thought he had 30,000 subscribers. Oh no, it must have been Crypto Mindset. Am I really gonna do a tier list on the guy with Okay, yeah, but okay, I'm not even gonna put him in the list, but this is what you want to stay away from in general. A person that uploads 1 or 2 of these videos or like 1 every other day. Like I said, nothing wrong with doing sponsored video. Nothing even not doing wrong with a couple sponsored video, but if it's like every other day or every day, it's clear as day. This is not, you know. Yeah, that's funny. Let's see this guy.
Zebek, big news on Zebek, big partnerships. Have no fear.
And we are just getting started.
We're just getting started. If you guys did not notice, at the beginning of this video, Crypto Combos, the Volume RG spotted the Zebek in Vegas. Bam, the future payroll, guys. This is in Las Vegas right here.
He is crypto news, so we're gonna keep it on the fundamentals.
Getting started. So let's go have some great conversations. Hi, what is your name? Hi, my name's Fee, short for Vincenza. Vincenza. And what are you doing here?
NRG has a vision, guys. Zebek network.
Simon, what is Science Card? Why did Zebek acquire them? What made this the...
Any man heard about the Science Card? This is the big news we're going to cover today. Zebek buys compliance firm. Zebek buys compliance firm. And behind that, we're going to look at the head of Zebek, head of M&A at Zebek Protocol, Nalish Padi, and also big announcement from Zebek. You guys don't want to miss this. Where's Zebek? Right here. Zebek expands globally. So we got a lot to talk about. Smash that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. We'll start with this just in case you haven't heard this.
Well, he seems good in terms of fundamentals already. Covering a lot of news.
What is Science Card? Why did Zebek acquire them? What made this the right next move in this incredible narrative that we're watching play out before our own eyes?
We are super impressed with what Science Card has built over the past few years. They have a portfolio of the top universities in the UK. And
okay, right.
Zebek buys compliance firm Gate and X ahead of Mecca FCA regulatory push. Zebek's move reflects a shift towards embedding compliance at protocol level, with firms facing more regulatory requirements. Infrastructure in-house, AMS, all that, because I go deep down. Niall, Neil. Zebek plans to leverage Gate and X technology to pursue land American International. That broke maybe a couple days ago, but then this is the news that broke today. As BLIK, a global fintech veteran, UK data expert, driven health and research finance, a diverse work experience and enrolled in research analysis and business school. The biggest thing missing in crypto, the future of payroll. Zebek.
And what I'm hoping to see, and I think more.
Also, do not forget to show some love. Smash that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. We need 300.
Okay, he's good for crypto news. For crypto news, he's doing absolutely everything right. He's delivering the news. So if this is the point of his channel, to deliver the news.
here. Also got shout out to bags with that intro XRP bags, guys. We got some the Lion at Extreme MMETRY. You're not paying finance anymore. It's connect the dots of the next KJ Crypto News. The Lion says isn't a narrative. It's a time finance. It's highlighting up because the Zebek community delist ZBC and custody 11 at 1111 support going around with Zebek. With XRP globally. Don't sleep on this one under a penny. We've had like 50 Zebek.
Have from the community is
The co-founder in there, and we got
importance of the ISO compliance is greater.
DBC and weekly highlights trading on CoinMarketCap and Gecko top 10 utility project on Solana up 116% in a week, 320 million market cap, nearly 6. Zebek earlier. Look forward to
He covers in use. He covers in use. So why should I put an A tier? I think I'll put him at A tier. CKJ. Epe. We're not doing any technical analysis now. He was one of the first I've heard to speak about Zebek. On the Zebek with the migrated, he's known for hidden gems. So what do you think I should give him? Because look, remember, A is like you pass. Like A is, think about it, right? A can be anywhere between A- and A+. So I just say A generally speaking. Like I feel like S is when you usually have all the stars lined for you. You guys said there was some good. Let's see. Oh, let's look at this guy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we talk ZBCN price update, price analysis. Make sure to click the like, sir, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and let's dive into the video. Look, sir, we've been talking about the pullback for ZBCN. We've been talking about a cool-off potential coming, and there it is. Okay, there it is. Now we have a potential new risk here. It's not a real risk, but a risk of more downside because you have a potential head and shoulders here on the ZBCN smaller time frame. Okay, from you can see from here that was the left shoulder, the head and the right shoulder broke down the neckline. Again, this is just short term. Okay, we're looking for a pullback. We were looking for a cool off, and now it looks like we're gonna get it. And this will complete. This will be the second leg down inside of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up, sir. So make sure click the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll show you what I'm looking for on ZBCN for this move. Okay, so look, this is just speculation. Okay, this is Elliott wave. Elliott wave count analysis. Okay, so this looks like to me.
Kiss another Elliott waves.
For ZBCN, then you have a leg 2, then you have a leg 3, 4 correction, and 5 double top here. Could be. Looks like to me. This is the first wave of ZBCN bull market inside of a 5 waves. 5 ways up, 2 down, 3 up. Okay, so this is leg 1. Okay, all this thing is leg 1 right now completed. Stay with me. This is important. If you're bullish on ZBCN, you gotta understand how markets move. Okay, you don't want to follow all these people, on YouTube telling you nonsense on tech. It's not tradable. Okay, you want something tradable. Okay, when do you buy? And this Elliott wave theory is one of the best tools to have as a trader and investor. Okay, so let's say leg 1 completed. Now we're looking for a pullback of leg 2 to
a leg inside a leg, yeah. And that's when trading gets complicated, but
to unfold. Okay, so we already hit the Fibonacci, the 50% Fibonacci here. Can definitely pull back to this level, to the 618 Fibonacci at around 32. That will actually be a retest of the prior. Let me go back here. All-time high. Kind of all-time high. The all-time high was around 34, if I'm not mistaken, or 33, like this, somewhere around here. Or you can also go low. You can also go to this level. You can see this is the 786, I think, 786, yes. Fibonacci. That will be the breakout, retest of the breakout point of the accumulation rate. Can happen. Anything can happen. This is crypto. The best thing to do is really, if you, we spotted, okay, we talked about the potential of a leg 1 to be completed. Once you see something like that, you want to take profits. You want to sell. You want to sell into the hype, into the pump, into the FOMO. Because most people, they don't know. They're just buying top. They have no strategy. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what most people are just, they don't know. Okay. Now, leg 2 is where you buy, okay, on the bottom of leg 2 or in the transition to leg 3. So let's say, again, this is just speculation. Going to pull back, consolidate.
okay, I like what he's saying. I like what he's saying.
Doesn't matter. And then start advancing. Okay, start building some kind of base and ramping up into another leg up. That's the transition to leg 3. Okay. So now we are in leg 2. Now we're in leg 2, looking for the bottom of leg 2. Probably again, this could take some time. Okay, it could take some time. I'll show you what I mean. But here, you want to buy here. Okay, so really make sure to join the community. Link below, sir. We're gonna nail ZBCN. Now we're not trading ZBCN. We're trading other. This market is getting hot as F. We have trades printing double-digit gains today. Amazing market. Go ahead and join our community, sir. This is the time to make money. And flip your gains from ZBCN to other names. Right now, again, this is the big picture. Okay. This is the big picture of ZBCN. Okay, let's say that was your first leg. It was, how many weeks it was. Let's look at the monthly. Okay, so that was like pretty much 2 months. 2 months of a leg 1. This probably gonna be, some kind of a couple of weeks, maybe a little bit less, a little bit long, low, a little bit more of like a consolidation for leg 2. Okay, so now
okay, consolidation.
Okay, so some kind of a consolidation can be something like, I think it will be longer than this. I think it will be something like this. Again, something like this or something, a bit longer. Again, depends when Bitcoin will roll over for a pullback. But wait, this is the time that the opportunity will be revealed itself. Okay, this is the next best buying opportunity for ZBCN.
What the hell?
Cycle. The first best buying opportunity was here.
What happened?
We spotted. I'll show you the trade alert we shared in the community from May 19th. We bought it at 1.9 and we tripled the size on 2.1. Okay, we bought it here, right? But here on the right time on 1.9.
He doesn't want to. Oh, Jerry. Yeah, I was gonna make a turbo video about Jerry because Jerry just gave like the most just his opinion practically on why Turbo was going to do whatever it was going to do, and then without backing anything, he just said,
you buy at the right time, you sell into the parabolic FOMO hype, you know, you just cash out your profits, focusing on these. Once you complete leg 2, you go to leg 3, which is a monster explosive move, okay, usually much bigger than leg 1. All right, so this is the time for ZBCN investors and traders to, again, some people will just buy, they don't care to be down, you know, they don't care to be in a temporary loss or a drawdown. Me, I'm not my cup of tea. I like to buy when it's going up, okay, just like it did here. I bought it and it went up, okay, so I'm gonna wait for it to bottom out, do some kind of a tradable bottom, then I'm gonna load up and I'm gonna add into the rally, okay, I'm gonna add into the rally because I know once leg 2 is completed, we're gonna have plenty of time to buy ZBCN and ride it for minimum couple of strong weeks and even a couple of months of a bull run, all right? So,
give me one second.
If you're holding ZBCN, you know, don't be scared. It's natural, okay? You had your leg 1, okay? It's natural. It went up 10x almost, you know, last month. It's natural to pull back to the 30. It's also natural to pull back to 21. Again, if it breaks below the 21, that's going to be a concern to me. But again, I'm waiting. I'm watching it. I'm actually mega bullish on ZBCN, expecting very, very high valuation after it complete leg 2. Expecting it to really go nuclear. And yeah, put ZBCN on your radar. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure to join our community. Make sure to get yourself a Bitcoin account. You can trade ZBCN there with leverage, without leverage. Amazing exchange. You can trade from the US. Use the link below, man. From the US, no VPN, no KYC, man. That's amazing. That's unheard of and insanely low fees, man. Really, if you trade from the US, man, you gotta get your Bitcoin account. You gotta get your Bitcoin account. This is like, man, I cannot stress it enough. This is the best exchange. Okay, all the members use Bitcoin now from the US.
I think he's alright. I mean, just from this, I mean, he said that he predicted it going down. Like so far, he's either high B or low A. He said it was up for a monster move 2 days. Okay, should you buy now or wait? Let's see. This is going to determine.
ZBCN taking the crypto markets by storm. Today
This is near the highs.
ZBCN, the best crypto in the last couple of weeks. Is it a good time to buy ZBCN now? Should you buy it now or wait? In this video, we're going to talk about this topic. Guys, dear Zebezian, make sure to cook the like, give us a like, smash the like, subscribe.
This will determine whether he's great or if he's around the average.
Please comment below. I want to hear that. Let's have a look first. First of all, look, this is ZBCN. Okay, it broke out here. Okay, that was the breakout. That was the breakout. That was the entry for the ZBCN.
Jerry Banfield.
When was it? 21st of May. Okay, 9 days ago. That was the entry of the trade. Okay, if you missed that one and you followed in on the second candle or the third candle, that's cool. All right. Now you're in the fifth candle. Sorry, in the ninth candle, man. After it is up from the breakout. Okay, from the breakout, 200%. Okay, 200% up from the breakout point in 9 days.
I mean, his technical analysis is nothing crazy. The Caesar or whatever his name was way better.
ZBCN now, it is short-term extended. Even if you're an investor and you're looking to hold it for a while and you believe in the project and you know and you buy all the nonsense they tell you out there, even if you're an investor, you should wait. Control your emotions, sir. I will tell you why you should wait. If you put big money, if you want to put big money on ZBCN and you want to invest in it, you should consider waiting for a better day, for a better time to buy, because now you are extended from the breakout. At some point, it's going to create some kind of a pullback or a retrace, or it will rest, it will cool off. And this is crypto, okay? It can rest like this, okay? And it can rest like this, okay? You don't know how it will rest, okay? Don't get me wrong, man. I'm mega bullish on ZBCN. I love ZBCN. This is probably going to be my best trade for 2025. Swing trade-wise, I'm going to swing it to the moon. But again,
is Jerry?
I want to give back to the ZBCN.
I'm not going to make other comments.
Jerry, because all the YouTubers telling me to buy it, and it's going to
is Jerry okay?
Maybe it will, but not in a straight line, my friend. Coins move up and then they retrace. Okay, so what you want to do, man? If you feel that you want to APN, wait for something like that. Okay, do not buy the green. Okay, do not buy the mega green. Okay, you know you can do a pullback, and 2-3 weeks from now, from where you are now, that's a 40% haircut. Okay, now that's not something you want to do. That's not okay. That's a lower high on the RSI and a higher high on price action. It means price going up, but momentum is going down. That's where tops forms. Tops forms when you get these bearish divergences. We have the same pop here. Okay, so better wait, man. Better wait for something like this. Better wait for something like this. Better wait for something like this. You're gonna get your and you're an investor, just like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell in 6, and we triple size it once it broke to 1.7. Look at our entries, man. That's where it's done. People already cashed out their profit, 220% on the. Follow us, man. Follow us. Join our community, man. Or hire something like this trades the best.
He's solid. All right, I'll give him like A. Crypto mindset. Crypto mindset. So Jerry next. I know I definitely missed some of your guys. I know some of you guys said. The one, I think I might have seen you at the Crypto Savvy live streams, if I'm not mistaken. I'm so sorry if I missed some of you guys' things. I know I didn't expect so many people. Okay, let's see why he's giving a warning. Let's see why he's giving a warning. Let's see if he's just going to give a warning because he just has a feeling, or if he's going to give a warning because of...
Here's a warning to everybody holding the Pepe coin that you should see before you buy it or consider if you're holding it. I think this looks like a very dangerous meme coin to hold because the market cap is so large already. My calculation after 11 years in crypto and thousands of altcoins I've reviewed is that Pepe has very little room to go up at this point and a long way it could go down. Plus, there's a value-based investing here. By putting your money into this, you're saying, I'm going to give people who I don't know who created this meme coin, I'm going to make them rich, and I'm going to make all the people who bought this before me, I'm going to give them money. And that's what I care about with my money. Now, this is a message I think will be really helpful for you here. I'm not telling you this to be mean or to offend you. I'm telling you this out of love because I want you to be successful as a crypto investor, and let's make a great world together. Anyone holding this Pepe meme coin at this point, like to me, this is insane. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. And I hold tens of thousands of internet computer protocol because that's the best tech in crypto. And I believe in investing where teams have done real work to add value to humanity. And I ask you, has this added value to humanity? Well, no, Jerry, it's just for fun. It's just a meme coin. Well, if you're investing, to me, the goal is to invest money into that which makes the world a better place, into real utility, into real tech. This, to me, is getting value extracted from you. Now, sure, if you'd have bought Pepe, I was aware of Pepe before it had the big pump, but I don't want to make dirty money off of ignorant fools buying stuff that they just sit on a crypto exchange and hope other greater fools buy into it after they do. That's not how I want to make money. I don't want to make...
Well, that's what you still, when you sell... when you sell your position, that means someone bought it, right? Ultimately. So if you're going to be selling at the top of ICP or near the top or halfway through, that means someone else saw value and you guys made a swap practically, to put it in
money,
like
lying,
simple
cheating, and
terms.
stealing from people like the majority of crypto influencers do. And to me, this is how Pepe's got so large, because you get all the people talking about this and look, the price went up. But look at this, the team who we have no idea who the team is for this coin. The team is sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars that have been created for them. When what did they do? They created a meme coin and then did some marketing. And everybody buying and holding Pepe is
6.9% are that high.
rewarding this team with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of the coin for clicking a few buttons to launch a coin and then marketing it. And this has a bigger market cap than the best tech in crypto. The best tech in crypto, which hundreds of people have put thousands of years of their lives. And that's internet computer. And this coin has double the market cap of it. And I say, therefore, this is extremely risky, extremely little utility. Big market cap meme coins to me are one of the very worst things to buy. Now, yes, I realize, Pepe, if you look at the price chart so far, it doesn't look so bad, does it? And hey, Jerry, it's done better than internet computer. It's held its value all over the last year. Well, where are we going in the future? How many more greater fools are going to buy into this after everybody else holding it? How many people, now in crypto, you get a lot.
Here's the thing, Jerry, that's how the world works. The world doesn't need to run on pure logic. There's a lot of degeneracy out there, right? I mean, you can debate even just what people do in their day-to-day life is just, there's a lot of degeneracy. So it's like, not everything that's right or fundamental or the way it should be is always going to be. It doesn't matter.
A lot of the insane.
It's not how the world works. It's not how the world works. The world's not fair. The world doesn't always make sense.
Rich, quick, sick people buying stuff. But
buying Pepe is not a get rich quick thing. It's already a 5 billion market cap. And for what he's saying right now is like, oh, market cap is high, which means don't buy. But it's like, yeah, obviously, if you give certain context, yeah, sure. But Pepe more or less drops 50% from its all-time highs. So if you believe this coin will like 10x, it's a great buying opportunity.
If you're holding this and hoping it's going to go up, a lot of people in the world that aren't in crypto are not going to participate in this. They're not going to participate in any of it. They want real technology. Give me something actually useful. And if I can use it, then...
That's a lie. Safe Moon or whatever it was called it absolutely exploded because everyone saw how fast it was going. Meme coins will always be S tier narrative. Doesn't mean they're S tier value. It's a joke coin at the end of the day, but that doesn't mean...
And I'll interact with it. Pepe offers nothing to use. It offers an X account with memes that is worthless to me. And you look like it's not even pretending to be something. It says it's a deflationary meme coin. It doesn't matter if I make some turd coin and make it deflationary because it's fundamentally useless in the first place. It was created as a tribute to the Pepe the Frog internet meme. Since when, I guess since the last few years, have we started putting money into investing in things that are memes? Now, I'm not going to come out here and be like I'm some saint. I've got my own meme coin, JBBJ, which is a tiny $300,000 market cap right now, one of the top meme coins on Internet Computer Protocol. And to me, this is what meme coins are ideal for, is tiny little market caps with a lot of upside possible. Now, this could go to zero. It's fundamentally worth...
What?
There's no real utility because it's a meme coin. But who's the founder? Well, you got me. I created it. And I can't delete it. And I can't take it back at this point. So for me, if you want to go meme coins, like the ideal is to find a meme coin that has a tiny.
Yeah, of course. Okay, look. Well, he's not wrong in the aspect of like, if you're going to be investing in meme coin, that it's better to be it's better to obviously in general get something that's slightly more lower market cap if you're going to be taking that risk. Like that's why Doge and Sheep, like I don't see a point in investing Doge and Sheep. I'd rather just invest in a coin that has real utility, real financial backing, etc. Because it's like those coins are not going to get you those insane gains anyways, right? So yeah, he has like a point to a certain extent, but you know,
tiny little market cap.
you don't always have in meme coins. You don't always have to be investing in small cap coins like 20K, 100K, 300K, a million, right? You can still invest in coins that have like 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, a billion, and you can still make great gains.
And it has a transparent founder that could put some traffic behind it, or some kind of a team that could do some marketing for it, and maybe then that could get to where Pepe is today. But the meme coins that are already large market caps, there's nowhere for them to go. Because if you look at the top meme coin right now is Dogecoin. And that's like the very top, and you got the next one down is Shiba Inu. So if you notice, the difference from number 1 to number 2 is, 75% less, and then you got Pepe down here at less than Shiba. So to me, there's just not much room for this to go up, and you have to get absolute ignorant fools to buy this, for it to go up. And why would I buy?
Of course, it has a lot of potential to go up. Dude, he doesn't understand, like, if something went to 12 billion and goes back down to 5 billion, and there's still such a strong narrative along with it, and we're going to get a strong altcoin season, and it's going to go from 5 billion, let's just say, to 50 billion. It's just a cycle, and it's like whatever money Doge and Sheep get, some of that's also going to go down to Pepe, because usually not everything peaks at the same time. Like usually there's a week, 2, or even a month difference, right? The money gets shared. Not literally all the money gets shared, but part of the money does get shared, so it's easier.
Buy Pepe today instead of Internet Computer Protocol? Why would I buy Pepe instead of some tiny meme coin that maybe could 100x, and if it goes to 0, well, it's already pretty close to it anyway? To me, big market meme coins are one of the worst things that you can buy, because they are unlikely to go up that much, and they do have tons of space to go down. And I don't believe in supporting anonymous teams that are doing nothing for the world. I mean, at least my little meme coin, I have less than 2% of supply. It supports me and my community. You know exactly who that is. But Pepe, this is insanity. So I saw it. I chose not to take the dirty money on it, and I see
Brother,
no reason to get into this today. Like Pepe, I could have made good money getting into it earlier and joining the hype train when it was back here when I saw it. But I feel good that I didn't participate in this, because everybody who bought Pepe back here is down. And even some
what is the difference of you buying ICP low and selling at the top compared to Pepe at the bottom selling at the top? It's still the same outcome. That's just how life works, man.
people who bought it a year ago
What is
are
this guy
down.
on
But
about?
unlike Internet Computer,
This
it
guy's
has no
at
real
least- this
technology.
guy's
It
gotta be
offers
like
nothing
D
to
tier.
humanity. And there's more and more meme coins being launched every day, which means to me the bigger ones have more to lose and infinite competition. So if you've appreciated that, instead of me just telling you what you want to hear, instead of me just taking millions of dollars to show altcoins and exchanges and farm communities like almost everybody else in my position does, then I actually care enough about you to tell you what you probably don't even want to hear, out of love and out of the intention, like, why don't we make a better world here? Why don't we invest in teams that do very valuable work like Internet Computer? Why don't we refuse to hold things that are completely speculative wastes of time that are already worth billions of dollars? Now, this clearly was not financial advice. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was educational.
I feel bad. I feel bad for putting him in D tier. But I feel like the points I made were much better than the points he made. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think I countered his points well? Because I feel like all he just said was, yeah, okay. The best thing he said was high, like, meme coin, like, high meme coins. Sorry, meme coins with a high market cap are less likely to make, like, really crazy gains. But you can't see, like, oh, that's like seeing, okay, it's not the same, but it's like seeing any coin at a higher market cap and being, well, if that goes to 0, it has a long way down to 0. But it's like, dude, it's not as simple as that. It's not like Pepe just shot from whatever market cap to 11 billion in a month. Because then, yeah, if it was just a straight rocket to the top, then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's very dangerous. Which is why I stayed away from, like, Chill Guy, which is why I stayed away from Peanut, right? But, like, context matters so much, and he just didn't really include any. We're gonna give him one more video to see if he can redeem himself to, like, C tier. Okay, he's just promoting his own meme coin, dude. Okay, I want to assume he has only buy ICP. See, that's not. I'm going to assume he has a lot of information about ICP. So let's see what he's saying about Jasmine.
Jasmine is an absolute garbage coin that you need to hear what.
Okay, let's see why. Let's see if he's going to give generic. Let's see if he's going to give generic information, like, oh, I think this coin's bad. This coin can go up, or if he's going to give some actual data, some proof, and something.
And I'll show you in just a few minutes why I think this has a very high likelihood of going to 0.
And if he doesn't give any proof or any kind of thing that can't just get debunked with me giving a good counterpoint, then
And, you're not
he's
going to want to hear
staying
this
in
for all
D
the coin, but you're going to really appreciate that I told you this instead of hyping it up. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. I don't hold any Jasmine. I have tens of thousands ICP because ICP or Internet Computer Protocol is actually doing what Jasmine's talking about. I've been watching Jasmine for the last couple of years, and what I can tell you, it's done nothing. The hype is the same as it was years ago. They've produced nothing. It's utterly useless. The only thing that happened was some manipulated price pump back here, and people buying this without understanding anything about it. This coin in 2022 was
okay. You know what? While this
crazy
plays,
high,
I'll do
over
this.
$2. One of the worst rug pulls we've seen in something with close to $1 billion fully diluted market cap. It even makes Internet Computer not look so bad. Over the last year, it's went from 3 cents to under 1.5 cents. But my question is, what exactly have they done? So I go to the website, and it's the same stinking website they've had forever. I mean, I looked at this 2 years ago. It's like the same website. Seriously, y'all are investing in this. It starts out with a company profile.
It might
and
be like
President
S
CEO,
or A
what
when
are
it
they
comes to
building? The
purely
crappy website has
ICP,
been
but
like
anything
this
else
for years. I don't see that they're building anything real. And if so, time's up. You should have produced something real. I look at the Jasmine hype videos, and I don't want to promote any of these garbage videos. Here's one. Jasmine CEO says Jasmine coin on the verge of 1098. Seriously? The only way that this coin would go up is because absolutely ignorant fools watch people who are blatantly lying, cheating, and stealing from them on YouTube, and then buy the coin without knowing anything about it. You've got people, Jasmine, people are barely even making videos about it. And the thing is, people are just throwing in a bunch of these garbage coins all together
Jerry?
and then hyping them up to
Oh
get
my
traffic.
God.
You've only even got one new video today on YouTube about Jasmine. Many of the other ones are months old. And the people who are promoting Jasmine coin are absolute crypto scammers, ripoffs, no integrity. That's why I'm not naming names in particular. But the narrative, the truth about Jasmine is that they are all talk. And they don't actually, I don't see any real product doing what they say they're going to do. But when the Jasmine hype was about data ownership.
This is the one I watched. Okay, this is literally the last one. I'm not giving Jerry any more time. I'm literally not giving, this is the last thing. I'm not giving Jerry any more time ever again in my life. You're just pushing your own meme coin. Let's see how much he talks about his own meme
You're about
coin.
to experience an honest crypto analysis of the Turbo token because I love you all. I want you to be successful investing in crypto. I'm tired of y'all getting ripped off on garbage coins. I've looked at this because it's trending, and I've been in crypto 11 years. There's no way I would hold this. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not have any of the Turbo token, and I have tens of thousands of Internet Computer Protocol and my own little tiny JBBJ meme coin because I believe the only way to invest successfully in meme coins is to get tiny, tiny market cap coins. But if you look at the market cap for Turbo today, as I'm filming this, it's $345 million fully diluted. Now, that means, for the way I see it, there's a lot more that it can go down than up, and it's close to all-time highs right now, which to me is the absolute worst time to be.
Wait, in general though, something being fully diluted is a positive in most contexts. So it's not even a
investing in anything. Like, there's literally nothing I've ever seen that I would want to buy at all-time highs, except, maybe Bitcoin 14 years ago when it had its first pump to.
See, he doesn't even give like real analysis. You're saying near all-time highs, bro. It's not even near all-time highs.
1,000, but even then you had to wait years just for it to get back to 1,000. And this is not Bitcoin. This is a meme coin. There's 50-some thousand holders according to this, which means every holder, if you divide the fully diluted market cap by the holders, that's like $10,000 or so a holder, which is terrible. That if you look like my meme coin, for example, JBBJ has 4,000 holders, and the fully diluted market cap's of 300,000. Like this to me indicates it's way overvalued. It's being pushed to the ignorant masses to buy it. And if you scroll down and look at the analytics.
This is what you want. You want manipulation in the meme coin. We talk about how Turbo has manipulation by exchanges, how exchanges. There was one video where we showed literal proof of exchanges buying and accumulating Turbo. A coin like his is not going to do well because the only people that are going to buy some Jerry coin are his fans. And number two, if some type of big group ever decides to just pump his coin, right? Pump his coin and whatever. But those are like two exceptions. And his coin is not getting like...
There's whales have, it's how decentralized is it when whales have 60% of the whole supply? The top 10 wallets have 50% of the whole supply. I mean, this is just an obvious, no, absolute no to me. And I've looked at the website for this as well. It's a meme coin and they're just talking and marketing. But if, it says the founder made it, well, it's actually decentralized, then there's nobody that's going to be accountable to do anything for this. There's no advancement. There's no future. Big cap meme coins suck.
See, that's how you know he doesn't actually follow with this coin because Turbo has been one of the top meme coins in terms of accomplishing things. There's exchanges, partnerships, collaborations, innovations, things outside of crypto. They've been like literally like S tier in this.
The profits, if you're going to be in something big, like hundreds of millions of dollars, it needs
He's
to be
staying
something
in
with
D
real
tier.
tech that's going to have a potential for mass
Who's
adoption,
next?
which only Internet Computer Protocol, from what I see, meets those standards. Now, if you're going to be in meme coins, the only thing I want to be in is something tiny, where it could absolutely give me 100 or 1,000x just to get to where Turbo's at today. So to me, Turbo, you missed it. It's gone. And
no, see, the thing is, like, if I know a coin can still give me a high probability, like let's say a meme coin can give me a high probability of like 20 to 50x. I know it's a very big range. I'm taking that risk, right? Even if Turbo did just pump out like a 15x from like my average positions, a 20x, dude, that's still fundamentally great.
I don't see like why anybody who bought it down here, you know, would still be holding on to it either. Like if you bought it back here when nothing was happening with it, you know, wouldn't you be taking profits and exiting out of here, which clearly a lot of people did. So I don't see why anyone would hold this at this point.
Hey
It's
Jerry,
come and
did you
gone,
know
it's
the
made
whole
its money,
market
it's
dumped
over
during
with.
that time?
And if you've appreciated my honest crypto review here, out of my Care for Your Success the Crypto Investor, subscribe, check my crypto reviews playlist, and come back for more. I make 6 YouTube videos a day. I'm a full-time YouTuber, and go to jerrybanfield.com if you want to schedule a call and talk to me about some more coins.
No. All right, Jerry, you're D tier. Who else? Let's go up. Yeah, Crypto Minds had to put him A. Crypto Lunatic. You guys want me to look at some of the big boys? No BS Crypto.
Well,
No.
okay.
No, I'm not gonna do this guy. He's too small. I don't know if that's. I'm fairly small. I don't know if that's fair to say, but I need something that applies to many people.
Well, okay. It's Crypto Lunatic.
Because even if I put like this guy in the tier list, then it might apply to literally the only person that named him. Let's look at No BS Crypto. I think I've. See, No BS Crypto definitely in terms of the actual. Let's see. I watched this one. Watch this one. Let's see if he's actually giving value or if he's just capping.
I don't think it's over for crypto.
Ratio still good, which means people obviously still. You have gotten better a lot, or no, he hasn't. Yeah, he has much better technical analysis and focused. So look, very, very supportive. So people obviously crypto banters where it's just like not supportive.
A lot of people are screaming for a bear market, saying things are over. And look, I'm not here to blow smoke up your butt. This is a PG channel, first of all. What I'm here to do today is to show you the on-chain data. Something very unique about crypto is the fact that we can actually see what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, but no one seems to be utilizing that amazing tool. So I'm here to show you what is actually happening. What are the whales doing? Literally, what are the whales doing? What are the guys who look more month to month, year to year, decade to decade doing, and not what retail people like you and I are doing because we tend.
No BS is boring, yeah, but it's not about. I'm not basing the list off of entertainment, thumbnails, clickbait, and all that stuff. The quality of video, right? Because that I'm not trying to base it off of like seeing it from like a YouTuber perspective. I'm trying to base it off of like, if I was new to the market, would I recommend watching this guy, regardless of if he talks slow, if he talks fast, you know, regardless of the quality, you know. So even if he is boring, you know.
Tend to panic quite a lot. So I'm sure you're quite frantic right now because your altcoins have definitely seen better days because Bitcoin now is falling down. But rest assured, you're going to know at the end of this video, I think exactly what we can expect to happen next. Now, obviously, there's been an escalation in the Israel versus Iran conflict. That's a pretty big one. And of course, lives have been lost. I don't want to get political here. It's never a good thing when people start losing lives. That's all I'm going to say about it. Unless this escalates into the WWE3 word, which I highly doubt. I think the markets will eat this news up, as morbid as that is to say about such a horrible thing, okay? So I want to again dive into the charts, the data, the facts, looking at things like this, looking at things like this. Just guys, giving you the full picture and allowing you to make a decision yourself. Now, first of all, very quickly, what are the whales doing? What are the guys, like institutions, large investors, even governments, doing right now? Well, it can be summarized in one single chart, accumulator addresses. These are the guys who buy Bitcoin, but they don't sell it, okay? And you can see right now, I'm a bit jealous because I wish this was my altcoin portfolio because accumulator addresses right now are at all-time highs and growing rapidly. You can just see how fast people who buy and hoard Bitcoin are buying. Now, if I zoom out here, you get a really good idea of just how fast this is actually growing. Now, like I said, what this truly means is the fact that whoever the hell is buying all of this Bitcoin believes the price of Bitcoin right now is undervalued for where it is about to go. Short term, not just long term. You can see these guys have no problem selling their Bitcoin if they think that the price of Bitcoin is about to drop. And they're usually actually pretty spot on with when they decide to sell, okay? Another way to look at this is also OTC desk balance sheets. These are the guys who hold Bitcoin for the sole purpose of giving it to governments, large institutions, and even large private investors, like hopefully you and I can be one day, okay? So when this goes down, that means that these OTC desks are giving all their Bitcoin away. People are wanting to buy Bitcoin from them because whoever the hell's buying it, governments, institutions, whoever.
Well, unless I readjust the list, he has to be already. In terms of like just fundamentals, he has to be S tier because I put the other guys that gave less in A.
The price of Bitcoin is undervalued for where it will go in the short term. You can see here they have no problem again selling it back to OTC desks. You can see here at the end or towards the top of the bull run back in 2018, they were selling it back to the OTC desks. That's of course a bearish sign. In the bear market though, they were buying it up because the OTC desk was going down. Of course, when the price of Bitcoin.
He changes his mind every time. He is boring. I don't listen to him anymore. He gotta keep you awake first to hear his quality law unfollowed. Hey, but guys, it's not about boring. I understand entertainment's one thing, right? And that is important for a channel and stuff, but like, you know? See, I don't know if the thing is, I don't know if he keeps flip-flopping. I wouldn't be able to play that.
Overvalued, overbought, based
So like some of this tier list, right? Whatever we do today, when I make the official video, I might have to do some like double check and research some people some more to really and readjust certain tiers to really get a fair list. Like this video might not come out until during like when I'm in Austin or something.
He sold it back to the OTC desk balance sheet, so the OTC desks. You can see this whole entire
Maybe like
bull
in a
run-
week
bull
from
run,
now.
called a bear market, whatever you want to call it, right? This whole entire time from back in 2022 to now, they have been buying like it was the bear market back here
Because
between
I want to be as fair as possible, right? I want to be as fair as possible.
2018 and 2020. Okay, it's still going down. So again, whoever the hell these people are, they believe the price of Bitcoin is still undervalued for where it is going to go in the short term. And we can also look into the exchange balance sheets as well. This is more retail as well. So retail also believes that Bitcoin is undervalued for where it's going because Bitcoin is leaving exchanges. Now, yes, you may argue that although this is people just setting Bitcoin off exchanges to self-custody, that's also a good thing because people are again going on-chain away from exchanges, meaning they believe Bitcoin is going to go up in price. So all of this is a really good sign. You can summarize all these charts with like the ETFs, accumulator addresses, exchanges, and OTC desks with this gray line here. This is total sell-side liquidity.
Thank you everyone for liking the stream. I always appreciate it. Takes just 2 seconds. Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay, so when this goes down, that means that overall, people are buying. Okay, so liquidity flushing around is drying up, and we're actually at levels right now we haven't seen since 2018. So all you have to know.
All right, sorry for pausing it. I also do plan on packet punching the streams in terms of entertainment, value, organization. Once I'm back from Austin. I've been working a little bit behind the scenes stuff, masterminding a little bit too, just because I wanted you guys to be entertained. Cover. It's all about dominance and fear and green index. The more TOU
is the big boys, the people who are actually here looking more so month to month, year to year, decade to decade, are going, we think Bitcoin's undervalued. And retail, again, we are caught up in the headlines day to day. And honestly, I can't blame you or myself. We're emotional because we've got a lot of money on the line here. We don't have sometimes the time. We can't lose any of our money. But that is exactly what the market makers and the cabal do and want us to believe. Now,
I am also, there was the one YouTuber that did make a tier list on this. We covered this a little bit, not a little bit ago, like an hour and a half ago. I am going to watch his video on my own time to see if he gave any extra information. Maybe he knows some people that did some shady stuff, that scammed, that could readjust our list.
I do want to talk a little bit about against some of these support bands because I think it's very important to assess what's happening based on moving averages. You can see here that this is what I call my bull run ribbon. Essentially, it's 4 moving averages. The big blue line down here is the 1-year SMA. The red line is the 200-day EMA. This is the 100-day EMA, and this is the 50-day EMA. Now, very importantly and very quickly, I want to point something out. First of all, we don't have to be concerned, in my opinion, the bull run's over until this blue line here is broken, like back over here, okay, on the weekly, and we close on the weekly beneath it. That's a warning sign, okay? And it's a definite confirmation when the moving averages actually close beneath it. That's a big, big red flag. We haven't had that yet. What we've had is Bitcoin respecting, okay, the bottom line, essentially. Now, one more bullish thing is what you'll notice with these moving averages is they like to condense. They kind of come to a point here, at least the smaller term moving averages, and when they do, in a bull run, the price of Bitcoin will explode up. Okay, so you can see it happened once here, it happened over here, 8 months consolidation, these bands came together, and bang, we had a massive explosion. Okay. Also happened more recently over here. We did talk about this on the channel, and of course we explode to the upside. Now, what happens in these upswings, okay, is when Bitcoin explodes, it respects this line here, which is the yellow line, the 50-day EMA. If it breaks beneath it, what we want to see here is it respect the 100-day EMA, okay, in orange, and again fight back above it. If it breaks through the 50 and the 100, like back over here, it's a really bad sign. It's a sign of weakness, okay, so that means the move is likely over. We can kind of see this playing out over here, where again supports the 50, stays strong, uses the 100 as support, and then again finally does break through with enough bearish news. But again, I'm pointing this out because right now we are respecting the 50, which means Bitcoin wants to stay in this uptrend. Whatever it's doing right now, macro speaking, it wants to stay in this general move, which is very, very bullish. Now, there is something else that's very, very bullish, and that's the fact that it doesn't require as much money as you may think to move the price of Bitcoin up. Now, this is important because, in my opinion, this will remove some of your fear and panic about Bitcoin moving down from $109,000 in a week to $104,000. Okay, because essentially, most people believe for Bitcoin to go up a 2x, so to go up to $208,000, it means it's going to have to be $2 trillion worth of buy pressure in the coin. But that's actually very wrong because the way it's found is with this, which is depth order books. I'm not going to get into it. All you need to know is essentially for Bitcoin to 2x roughly, you only need about $178 billion right here worth of buy pressure. This includes $158 billion of sell pressure. Okay, so without getting into the nitty gritty of it all, essentially Bitcoin can explode at the very drop of a hat. As a matter of fact, for Bitcoin to 10x,
see, like I know you guys are critical of him, but this information is better than what some of the other people are talking about.
About $1.93 trillion worth of actual money, actual buy pressure in the coin, and that accounts for $1.7 trillion of sell pressure, and that's going to $1 million, which would be a market cap of $21 trillion. So all I'm trying to say is once we have institutions fully on board, and once we have, I think, a very important thing I'll mention here in a second, which is stablecoins also doing what they're doing in the US, it's going to pretty much allow everyone and everything to get into Bitcoin, which, like I said, will rapidly accelerate the price faster than any of us can imagine, because it's just hard to believe 100K Bitcoin, because we've been fighting so hard for it, could possibly move to 200K very quickly. But again, the math says it's possible. So here's what I believe happens next. Okay, like I said, Bitcoin can move up very, very quickly here in the right conditions. Now, Bitcoin usually finds itself in what's called a bull run ascending channel. Essentially, if I untoggle this, a period where it kind of moves up and trends up like this within these two trend lines here for a whole bear market until something very important happens, until it finally breaks this upper trend line here. So when the price comes up and it breaks this and it explodes, which it has done by the way in every single bull run, it did back over here, exploded, it did back here in the 2017 bull run, exploded, and also did the very, very first bull run back over here in 2014. When it does this actually causes alt season. So the people who watch this channel know this already. You can see here Bitcoin dominance in pink actually falls whilst the price goes up, and what that means is while the price of Bitcoin 13x's or 5 or 6x's, as a matter of fact, altcoins go up even more. Okay, so they're gaining more market share. So what I'm saying is what we're eyeing off is a move for Bitcoin that breaks this upper trend line, not falls back into this, which would of course cause alt season. Now there are some very important metrics that I'm eyeing off to make this possible. First of all, it's this colorful chart behind me. This is what I call the Bitcoin cycle clock. It's a chart, an indicator I created, which takes 16 indicators and says, okay, is Bitcoin over or undervalued? So in blue and in green, it is undervalued. In red, especially dark red, it is overvalued. And it's a pretty good, as you can see here, gauge into when it's a decent time to buy and sell, okay? So essentially why I'm eyeing this off is because Bitcoin now being at a score of about 49% in cool down here is a very good sign considering we are at around all-time highs, okay? So we're sitting here. And the reason being is because if you have a look at every single time in Bitcoin's history, when it actually breaks through these Bitcoin ascending channels, it's usually in red or orange. Now, that's important because, again, red or orange indicates that people are in significant profit. And what happens when people are in profit? They take profit, which means there's a likelihood that we fall back into this ascending channel, okay? And we don't actually break the top trend line. So the fact that we're yellow right here gives me confidence that as Bitcoin goes up, we are likely going to be breaking this, okay? Because again, if we were red or dark red, as we hit this line like we have been over here and over here, we aren't able to break through it and sustain above it because people will take profit. So that's a really, really bullish sign in my opinion. This chart here also does show the same thing, which is how to look at traders, so people buying and selling Bitcoin frequently, their average buy price being this middle line and kind of using deviation bands, so these dotted lines above it and below it, to say, okay, well, if the price moves up a certain amount or down a certain amount, are traders buying it or selling it? And you can see that when it does extend up enough, traders will take profit because it's resistance on this upper trend line. You can see over here to some degree as well. Actually, 2017's bull run is the best example of this. You can see here, resistance, better resistance, 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 and so on. So basically, traders like to take profit up here, and they also keep buying along the average buying price. It makes sense, all right? So it's a very important line to eye off. And actually, as a matter of fact, the resistance zone we have to be careful of ends up being about $153,000 from the current.
Yeah, so you guys have more experience with no BS script. I only watched a handful of videos.
Funnily enough, ends up being the top trend line here. Okay, it's about $150,000. So
I will, once again, the whole tier list, I will refine on my own time. We might have one more live stream where we go maybe add a few little people. Maybe we refine certain things live too. And then when the actual video comes out, that's going to be the conclusion. That's going to be based off some deep research, right? Especially there's some big red flags around Crypto John, Crypto Banter, right? Some of these other guys, some of the guys we put in A might have to go to B and vice versa. We're going to obviously see the context. Right? And I need to make sure that when I do put people in certain tiers, I at least have one or two good fair points of why they're there. Right? It can't just be, oh, because whatever.
That would, at least in a different perspective, give me enough confidence to say we're likely able to break through this, again, based on traders and when they're likely to take profit. Global liquidity is also going up. We're about here right now on an 80-day lead. So we're right here. We likely can experience, roughly speaking, kind of like a 2x move coming from what we have done so far. I mean, look, you should really not do that. You shouldn't look at like the ups and the downs of global liquidity and expect the same results. But needless to say, we are in a continuous uptrend still. Okay, so that's, of course, a good sign. Nevertheless, this is all adding up, in my personal opinion, to give us a possibility of breaking out of this upper trend line. Again, if you haven't already caught on, causing alt season, the breakdown of Bitcoin's dominance, which is what we're waiting for essentially. That is all cherry on top. This is the true driver of actually breaking out of the channel, which is the global business cycle and global liquidity cycle. So you'll notice the global liquidity cycle here. First of all, we're in an uptrend. That's fantastic. But we're at a point of very high resistance. Based on history, this middle point here has always kind of been a bit of a difficult point for global liquidity to pass through. So as long as we can break through this, which we're kind of doing right now, actually, if you zoom in, then I believe once we do and we continue upwards, that's likely a good cause for this to go up. Now, this, I think, is a true gauge into alt season and when we can actually expect that to happen. This is the global business cycle. As you may know from a raw poll, basically when this goes up, that means that people like you and I, we are spending more money because the business cycle going up means that, again, businesses are noticing people actually buying more of their products. So again, that just means people have excess capital, which I think a good little indication here is for liquidity going up. So this kind of ends up front running. You can see here the business cycle. Okay, so it happens before the business cycle. Same here. Okay, same here. Again, seeing this go up before this starts to go up may be a sign that this begins to go up. So altcoins particularly are the furthest point along the risk curve in any investor's portfolio. Okay, so what that means is no one's investing in altcoins unless they have capital they're willing to lose. That's essentially how it works. So we are waiting for that again, but when that does come, that should essentially give us the full fuel to
no, look, he's giving
the parabolic, because like I said, this, and this are showing signs we have enough momentum to, I think, push up sooner rather than later. Now, one very important aspect I will finish up here on is stablecoins. Now, stablecoins market cap.
Like the technical analysis wasn't anything wild, but he does have a lot of data presented of why he believes it's going to go up, which is what I value.
As a matter of fact, we are right now 75% higher than the previous bull run's all-time high of about $150 billion. Now, what does this mean?
Some stuff is just speculation. Well, you can see this one up here, this one's up here, so I expect this to do good, like blah, blah, blah. So that's like whatever information. But, you know, most of it has been pretty good. It's like pretty like around A-tier information, some B-tier.
Part of the fuel that pushes Bitcoin and altcoins higher. So if we have a look here into the SSRO, so this chart in the bottom here, this is stablecoins versus Bitcoin. So when this goes down, that means stablecoins have relative strength over Bitcoin in their market cap. And when this goes up, this means Bitcoin has relative strength over stablecoins. So essentially, this is always going to have a pullback here because there's only so much momentum that continuous macro. I am of the firm belief we see the path to alt season chart somewhat still play out. And the reason being is because we are at the very tail end of the bearish momentum, if you will. And that's going to show on this chart here. This is alt versus Bitcoin's dominance. You can see the same pattern has played out the last 2 bull runs as it is playing out right now. Essentially, in a sort of bull run for altcoins, we see a 5-wave impulse or bullish pattern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. That's the bull run right there. We then see the conclusion of the bull run come in 3 waves. This is a corrective pattern, so A, B, and C. We kind of move into a falling wedge here, where altcoins eventually break out of this wedge, and you can see go into another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish impulse pattern. And then right now we're again very tail end of the bear market, corrective pattern A, B, and C, falling into again the same wedge we saw over here, which you can see is getting to the very, very tail end of that. Now, I have no idea if this will play out, but right now it is playing out like it did back in the previous cycle. So we could definitely see another 5-wave impulse pattern in which I do think large caps pump first and the smaller caps pump in that last and final 5th wave. Finally, this is, I think, a very important chart. Alt and ETH versus Bitcoin. So it's essentially everything apart from stablecoins versus Bitcoin. And you can see here that we kind of have this head and shoulders pattern conclude each and every single bull market here for altcoins. So again, alts have their bull run, head and shoulders bearish, we fall down. Okay, find the lows down here. 2021, head and shoulders, we kind of come down. We've now hit the floor.
I mean, yeah, basic technical analysis when you really think about it, nothing in too much detail.
Okay, so we haven't had the same head and shoulders pattern play out here, which means that I think we're actually at the lows, not the high.
I think I'm gonna put him in A for now. I know some of you guys think he's worse than that. I'm gonna put him in A for now. We're still gonna watch maybe one more video of his. I'm gonna do some double checking in my own time too. We need one where altcoins I'm buying crypto today, road to 100K. We have been lied to. All right, let's see his
Making money is easy when you know when it's time to take profits and lock in gains. But that's the hardest part of all. Buying's easy, waiting can be torture, but relatively easy. It all comes down to knowing when to sell. And this video is going to show you when I am eyeing off taking profits on my altcoins, locking some gains in, and then looking to possibly reinvest. Now, before I get into it, guys, I've got to say, I know a lot of you are probably asking yourselves right now, thinking, Claren, why on earth are we looking at taking profits and locking in gains when we're not even break even right now? Well, as I was always told, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to try to be scrunging together a plan in the next few months, looking at locking in profits when we can organize this now and be ahead of everyone else. So it's going to start with looking at the charts like this, diving into some of these very important patterns we're noticing. We're going to look at some of the ways we can take profits without relying on things like this, indicators, and again, diving much, much deeper into some very important zones. You will get the full picture today. You will have a very good idea of knowing when it is time to take profits with pattern 1, 2, 3, 4 altcoins. It is a bullish pattern after all, which we could possibly have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 wave impulse pattern. Now you're asking, why is that important to look at, Claren? Well, again, that's altcoins versus Bitcoin. So the question came up recently on one of the private community live streams where, is there a way in which we roughly speaking know what altcoins go up in what wave? And what I'm talking about here is, again, the different impulse pattern waves. We have pattern 1 or wave 1 here, which is to look at taking profits in wave 3, just 1 second with a clear plan. But essentially, the 3rd wave and the 5th wave look a bit differently. And it's kind of like the path to Walt season chart, where people talk about money flowing from large caps into smaller caps and then micro caps and so on. It's essentially that playing out, where we can see a coin like the Binance Smart Chain. The Binance Smart Chain, we focus in here to the last bull run.
No,
you can see in this 3rd wave, it actually had its all-time high first. If we have a look at a large cap back then as well, Chainlink had its all-time high in this 3rd wave, not the 5th wave. XRP had its all-time high again in that 3rd wave, not the 5th wave. So you can see some patterns playing out here. Essentially, what I'm saying is large caps like to have their pumps in this 3rd wave and not so much the 5th wave. Okay, and again, that kind of plays into this. If we look at some small caps back in the previous cycle, being Near Protocol, again, Near Protocol had its all-time high in that 5th and final wave. So did Render, being a small cap back then as well. Okay, now there are some contingencies, there are some variables to this that don't always play out, and this is where the second phase of kind of what I'm going to be looking at here to exit my altcoin positions, which is narratives. And this is looking at the coins as groups, as kind of like herds together. Gaming coins, AI coins, DeepIn coins, layer 1 coins, DeFi coins. Okay, the list goes on, because all these coins like to have their all-time highs together. And that's just simply because if there's a massive announcement, say Nvidia has a great earnings report, or let's say BlackRock, for example, starts using Ondo, it's just going to draw attention into the different areas of crypto. Therefore, it's going to pump that entire market as retail goes, oh, I better not miss out on this massive pump or this narrative, and they just buy into any coin in that area. It's exactly, as you could see previously, what played out in the previous cycle. And the reason why I'm saying this is going back to a chart like this, Solana and Cardano, both large caps in the previous cycle, okay, they actually had their all-time highs in that 5th and final wave. So you can see here, this 3rd wave, they did have pumps, would have been a great time to take some profit, but again, their all-time highs came after in that 5th wave. So what I'm personally doing overall is using both of these to roughly speaking gauge when it's time to take profits on some altcoins. And this is why I've been saying for the longest time, guys, most people cannot handle earning more than 10 altcoins in their portfolio. Trying to manage this, the different narratives, the different announcements, tokenomics.
Crypto mindset is a D-bag, just insults people as a way to get people to join his group. Crypto mindset? Wait, did I talk about crypto mindset? I did. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know this stuff about people, which is why I'm going to double check this whole list on my own time. But from
and again, just simply logistics behind selling their altcoins, it's impossible if you have a full-time job and you have more than 10 altcoins, in my personal opinion, to do it adequately. But here's how I think you can kind of play the narrative game and this sort of Elliott wave pattern that is likely to play out again because it has played out the last 2 bull runs. In my opinion, again, using this first wave, this kind of first wave here that I haven't really mentioned all that much, and especially haven't mentioned taking any profit on, and it's using this first wave to do what I think we're all thinking right now, which is just getting back to break even, but getting back to break even on the coins that you have no conviction in. You lost any of that sort of trust.
We did cover him, but I put him, so here's the thing, right? You have to take this list very, very lightly and with a grain of salt. Because we only really watch, for most people, we only kind of watch 2 to 3 videos. And obviously, I don't know a lot of these people's history, which is why this stream we're just more about discovering people. This tier list is not set in stone, right? On my own time, I'm also going to do a lot of own research. And then when the official video comes out, there's going to be, you know, proof, evidence, and reasoning on why these people are in this list, right? So I put him in A because his technical analysis was fairly good. We don't really judge. That's the thing I was saying. I don't really judge people. Now, you may disagree with this, which is fine. But I was going more based off information. If I recommend this YouTuber or this person to somebody, would they get wrecked? Would they lose money? Would they feel overwhelmed, etc.? You know, things like that. Mainly if you would make money or lose money. If it's worth listening to, right? Are they getting the technical analysis right? Are they saying for you to buy the tops because they saw a big green candle? You know, it's things like that.
Rush you had on the coin, or maybe the favorite influencer you've been listening to stops talking about. Whatever your reason is, you've lost conviction.
Not necessarily, you know, the quality of the video, the length of the video. Yeah, all those things matter, but we're aiming mainly for educational, right? The education they provide, and if you're more likely to lose money or make money with them.
In the coin in this first wave, as altcoins show strength again, maybe possibly taking a break-even stance on that coin. Okay, so we can sell losers, break even on this first move here. Now, importantly, there are some characteristics that will play out. I do think based on the last one and the last two bull runs, we're likely going to see this first wave here break the neckline of this particular move here. So that's what I would be eyeing off, is for altcoins to break that move, and then at any moment we likely could expect the wave 2 to play out. Now, wave 2 will definitely pull back. It won't pull back as far as we are right now, because if it did, it would actually invalidate the Elliott wave theory, so that should not happen. At least you'd like to think so. Anything could possibly happen. But in this move down here, I'm going to be rebalancing my portfolio.
Cadence crypto now. Oh, is this crypto banter? What are you talking about? That's what popped up on my thing.
So like I said, selling some losers in wave 1, ideally making some profit, but at least breaking even. Wave 2 is taking that capital and putting it into the winners, particularly here where phase 3 comes in, putting it into mid to large caps. Mid to large caps, as I mentioned to you guys before, just historically.
And yeah, for when I make the official video, it's going to be like a warning exclamation mark type thing in the beginning, where it's going to be like, listen, this is nothing based off their paid stuff, their course, their personality, you know, the quality of their video, and etc. It's going to be based off these criterias, and they're all going to be listed.
Historically speaking, are the ones that tend to pump the most in a wave 3 over here. Once that's done, again, take some profits off the table. This is where some narrative conversations will have to come into the mix, because if, for example, I've got AI altcoins, my AI altcoins have hit most of my target sell levels, but there's maybe 1 or 2 sell levels still lingering. My plan is, if they've had their narrative pump, let's say NVIDIA's had a great earnings report, let's say Meta and all these other companies announced these great plans for AI. Now AI coins have pumped up and it's been great, and we still have some of our sell levels on the table. What I'll personally be doing is just calling it and taking all my profits off the table. It's literally as simple as that. And the reason being is because we're likely going to have wave 4 come, which is a corrective wave. Now, again, this is going to be this point over here. And at that point in time, any of the missing profits you would have made, I will at least be looking to reinvest them back down into here for, you guessed it, some of those mid to micro caps that, again, maybe lack, near protocol over here, where let's just, for example, say that they have already made some gains like this in this pump. Okay, there's lack and kind of betting some of the missing gains into those coins. Now, like I said, in the third wave that haven't 15x'd pullback, and in Render's case, it went from $1.80, okay, it went down here to 44 cents. From 44 cents, it went to its all-time high at that point in time, which was $7. So it was like 15x'd in this period. So it's looking for the strong mid to large cap, or again, even small cap altcoins that haven't really super exploded, ideally in narratives that, again, haven't exploded either.
What does he view? GambleFi, really? He puts it at 8? Storage, metaverse, DeFi, Oracle, meme, yeah. Real world asset, yeah. AI, gaming, 10? I don't know if I agree with that. Gaming is a good / great narrative. It is, but it's, for me, gaming's also behind in the world, if that makes sense. Even esports as itself, esports, esports has been growing rapidly over the last couple of years. Gaming is viewed more positively over the last couple of years, but gaming is still objectively behind a lot of the mainstream stuff, right? It is still behind. It's catching up quickly, right? But I think like anything for crypto, like meme coins will always be a, not like top narrative. Real world assets, DeFi, right? Like those things are always going to be up there. But gaming, it's very specific, and I still feel like gaming what it is to your average person is still kind of behind, right? I think it's more acceptable to society nowadays. But man, like I said, the esports aspect, which is huge, that's still lagging behind in for certain games and viewerships, the stability. And then when you talk about crypto gaming specifically, that's going to be even further behind. So I wouldn't put gaming as a number 10 narrative,
and
like
kind
a
of being
10
some of the missing gains into those coins. Now, like I said, in the third wave and the fifth wave, what we want to do here is have sell levels already set up. That's the smart thing to do. Of course, you want to be ready, your hand on the trigger, so to speak, because again, if we do go into a fourth wave here and we've fully extended the third, or especially the fifth wave, you want to be as much in profit as you can, so you don't want to be hanging around for a massive, fake imaginary pump. So it's important to set up sell levels now. And that is using something called the GGR zones here. Now, what are the GGR zones? It's the green, it's the gray, and it's the red zones. Now, how you incorporate this, being someone who's retail, who may listen to people on YouTube, is if you ever hear a price prediction and you do your own research and you think it's realistic, or you this is your red zone, this is your liquid zone where likely you're not going to be able to sell. In the best case, if render does go to $150 at an all-time high, there's no way you're able to sell up here. The order books thin out, everyone begins trying to sell at the same time, you end up getting out much, much lower. It is not a good look, okay? So essentially, you're getting 25%, and that's your no-go zone. Then, dollars. So the way you need to look at this is any coins you decide to sell in wave 3 or wave 5 needs to be well within, again, the green zone. So for render, it's $100 here. And so in that case, if I'm going to apply, again, sell level, so I'm going to actually go to, again, one of the tools, whole entire sell plans, all automated after these three numbers. So what I'm going to do is come into here and go to the one that actually suits my plan. So this gives us a whole bunch of sell levels, $60, $72, $80, up to $88. And again, how much to sell to get out at fully break even, but do so with minimal risk and minimal upside risk. Okay, so what this looks like is, again, punching this back into here, you're in a hospital, that is covering, taking profit.
I want to leave an A tier.
So the first one here is looking at the
crypto capital venture. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be ending this sooner than later. This took way longer. I always forget I'm also a turtle. There's also so many YouTubers out there. So there might have to be a part 2 for this. I also will do some research on my own time. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see, altcoins.
This is the altcoin.
Let's see what he says. Does he speak facts or does he speak cap? You are the emotional rock of every crypto holder. I'm sick of hearing the bottom is here.
Coin market cap chart zoomed out on the monthly. I get it. Everybody, if you're out there holding altcoins, I am too. And I feel the pain. I realize it. It's kind of like we feel like stranded. Like the bull market forgot about altcoins. Bitcoin right now sitting around 50% higher than last cycle's all-time high. Meanwhile, we have Ethereum around 90% away from last cycle's all-time high. We have XRP 53% away. We have ADA 389%. That's failure. That is failure, right? That's what's going on here, right? If we go look at the altcoin market cap chart once again, there's no bull market that has occurred. It almost looks like we're still in a bear market. In this video, I want to give you a way different perspective on these charts than I've been doing. And I think it's going to be helpful to a lot of people. A lot of people mistake my bullishness, my optimism, my relentless perseverance for just being like my eyes are closed. I'm not waking up to reality. I'm ignoring everything. But it's the exact opposite that is true. The data is what drives me to be very bullish. And the opportunity that is before us, or anybody that's actually paying attention, it's just massive. The risk reward here is incredibly powerful. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system, check it out. We have 40% sale going on still right now. This is an Ethereum risk model sitting at 33. I'm going to discuss that in relation to what I'm about to show you. But let's just jump into this video. I want to start with this. This is incredibly important. Two things. Number one, I realize a lot of people think this move is happening. I keep talking about it. But if you go look at the Fed balance sheet, right? This is what was happening. Just to give you a very strong visualization. This was the top of Bitcoin's last bull market. That topping out that we just looked at. Many people saying, hey, we're there again. We're at the exact opposite in terms of what is going to happen from a Fed monetary perspective. We are bottoming out on quantitative tightening and getting ready to go into something more like this, right? Here's something more like this, expansion phase. So please keep that in mind as I'm working through all these charts. That is heavily playing into where my mind is at right now. The second thing that I want to show you or want to talk about, and then I'm going to look at these charts. This is the different perspective I'm about to give you. It looks weird, but just bear with me because I think it's going to give you a different perspective. ETH ETF inflows, $112 million yesterday. BlackRock and Fidelity keep buying more Ethereum. This was a post from today. Just look at this. 112 million, 240 million the day before, 125 million the day before. Buy right now. This on this chart, and again, there can be choppiness, but we are still in pre-bull market territory for Ethereum. The risk is lower on Ethereum right now. And so if you look at previous cycles, this risk score of the 30s, it is pre-bull market area cycle. And I really mean this. This is last cycle's Bitcoin, not now. Look at Bitcoin hovering above all-time high in December 2020. It's just doing its thing. It's all-time highs. It's $25,000. The previous cycle was like around $19,000. At that moment, here's what the Ethereum chart looked like. Check it out. So Bitcoin's above all-time highs, and Ethereum is 115% from all-time highs. Sound familiar? Right now, Ethereum 90%. Man, I guess at that time, I guess it was game over for Ethereum, right? Bitcoin's doing its thing, bull run. Ethereum's not.
No. This guy's spitting facts right now.
Here, XRP. Check out the XRP chart. Last cycles. Bitcoin's at all-time high at this moment. XRP 500% away from all-time highs. And by the way, you can see all the XRP chart is not here. It's gone. We're just looking back at where we were at this moment. This was 2020. So XRP right now, as we just saw at the beginning of the video, around 50% away from all-time highs. Now, let's go look at ADA. Here's ADA in 2020. Look at it. It was game over. It was failure. You can go back probably my videos and look at the comments about Cardano at the time. It was game over. ADA was 700% from all-time highs. And you can see now ADA is almost 400% away from all-time highs. But again, if you reset these charts and we go back to reality, this is what the chart is looking like now. This is it. We are very much in a very similar environment to right here. And especially from, again, a Fed monetary policy, we have global liquidity just increasing. M2 global liquidity is just continually increasing. We are, in my opinion, not here. We are, in my opinion, more like here in a different sense, in a more healthy sense. Look at the compression on the altcoin charts. And again, everybody, I just want to say this. I do not know how this will play out, but as I'm sitting here and tracking these cycles for almost 8 years now, in terms of altcoins, in terms of crypto space in general, I'm liking the risk reward. I'm liking the balance here. And if anything, it does get a little bit rough reading a lot of the sentiment that is out there as a content creator. It gets rough, it gets exhausting for me sometimes, but I will say at the core of it, it really also drives my bullishness, because those are not comments that I get when we're right here, when we're at the top of a bull market, when everybody's just bullish. It's just not. But that's the sign that it is a top of a bull market. When things get very negative in an environment like this, when we have a risk score like this on Ethereum, XRP sitting at a 43 in hold territory, and this is pre-bull market move for XRP in terms of
these types of things. I don't really take them with a grain of salt. I don't really like
XRP charts. We go to Cardano. Cardano right now sitting at a 34, pre-bull market territory. But again, even on this chart, very compressed, right? So these risk models are incredibly useful. They are not just completely absolute in terms of, hey, this is how it's going to play out, this is how it's going to go. But I will say, at least we are, from a risk standpoint, just compressing multiple times, even in a different, we're at a similar score, pre-bull market score as previous cycle, but the consolidation is even more healthy on these altcoin charts than we've ever seen, right? So we go back to the total crypto market cap chart on the monthly, and we just look at this. Look at the stock RSI, quicker moving momentum oscillator on this altcoin chart. It is oversold right now. The compression continues on this RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator, and we're just here. We're compressing, we're consolidating. And you know what? We zoom in on the total crypto market cap chart. Maybe there's more volatility. Maybe there's more pain. Maybe there's more just
RSIs are kind of whatever.
Consolidation. Even from a technical perspective, the swing low that we had in April to this previous swing high, maybe something drives altcoins to put in a higher low, right? And we're kind of making a similar consolidation as like right back here in this consolidation from August 2024, meaning just continued just compression and consolidation on something like this daily chart, right? Maybe it is just choppiness and just unknown. But you know what? While that's happening, we are pivoting out of quantitative tightening. Interest rates are getting ready to come down. And guess what? Right now, institutions are buying Ethereum, and they're getting set up with their altcoin ETFs to start buying altcoins. We're in a new era. It requires incredible patience. I will say that. But we are in a new era. And in terms of just if you want exposure to crypto, it's obviously your choice. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just trying to portray my bullishness, and I'm going to be confident about the data that I'm tracking. I'm not just going to, if it's a red monthly candle, I'm just going to sit here and do bearish videos, and then we turn green and I'm bullish all of a sudden. I am just on the macro. I'm a long-term bullish macro investor in the space. So that's why I continually come at you with kind of more.
I like this guy. What do you guys think about him?
Bullish content, and yes, that's even when we have red candles.
See, okay, here's the thing, right? He is showing, and this is what I'm gonna have to potentially readjust for the other people as well. So he is giving good insight, but he's not really giving you specific insight, which I value more. Right? So, but here's the thing, I still think he is better than like a lot of people that we put even the A and B tier. But I don't know. I'll put him in A.
It's even when we're kind of about to break out.
But I'm going to have to readjust how I value this list in the future.
I'm tracking the macro here, and you can just see from bear market lows. By the way, altcoins are up. Right, this altcoin chart is up. So I thought this was very useful to kind of give this different take in terms of like where we were, Bitcoin breaking all-time high last cycle, and altcoins just so far away. And you can just see, I mean, Ada does an excellent job of illustrating that. And guess what? It played out pretty well last cycle. And last cycle, we didn't have all the fundamentals in place for crypto. We didn't have just mass. It's just, but you can go to the exit planner and you can use.
He's solid. He's between B and A, but then if he's B and A, then I might have to drop some people. All right, but I think we only have gone through a handful of people. 1, 2, we can see right here. This is the list, right? So Crypto John scammed. Jerry was just feelings. Lee the Captain had some insight, but was a lot of yap, respectfully. Crypto Banter, there's a big asterisk of him being in B tier. I have to double check if he's just if he truly is a scammer, or if he has scammed, or if people are just being people. Your Stock Holiday knows ball, but he showed screen and stuff because people, like, the thing is, it's not about like the video quality necessarily, but at that point when you're only saying stuff, it's only like some people might just think it's just your word, so it's just an opinion. But when you actually show the article or other stuff, it could solidify your opinion or the facts that you are representing. Right, so it's Royal Black, Grow Rich, Grow Happy, CJ or CKJ, Crypto Mindset, Nobius Crypto, Crypto Capital Venture are all A tier. I did have Caesar in S and Maximus Crypto in S as well. But like I said, this is not set in stone. There's still so many more people to go. I'm going to go through a lot of people on my own time. I'm going to readjust some things. And then next stream will either be on, well, Sunday or Monday. So we'll see, and then we'll finish. We'll refine everything live. We'll add some more people, and then again in my own time, I gotta double check some things, refine, because this is one of those videos that is just like you cannot get too wrong, right? You cannot really mess up, throw someone under the bus, etc. I know it's not always nice to put people in certain categories, but like I said, I'm not here to make friends in this industry, right? If you have a great chance of losing money with somebody, then I'm going to tell you to stay away. It's as simple as that. W Live, thank you. Yeah, it was a long one. It was like a lot of research, going through a lot of YouTubers. Like I said, we still have a lot more to do. This is not one of those things that you could just rush into. We've only gone to 2 to 3 videos for each person. We don't really know the history and stuff. So like I said, a lot of offline stuff. Does S mean scam? No. So the way a lot of people do tier lists is, so think about like grades, right? Most people know like A is always the best, right? You have A plus, A minus, which is between technically 100% to 80%, 81%, or 80%. Or it says 80% to 100% for like a score, like a test. And then you have B, which is between 70 and 79%. Then you have C, which is between 60 and 69%. You have D, which is between 50 and 59%. And you have F for fail. So S is if you were better than 100%. Like S is like, yeah, like you should really listen to this person. Like if you're only going to listen to like 1, 2, or 3 of these people, listen to someone in S. But obviously there's certain contexts, right? Depending on the chart, that then that comes down to personal preference. Do you like the length of the videos? Do you like how they communicate? Are they a bad or good person, objectively speaking? Right? It all comes down to that. At that point, you got to make your own choice. But when it comes to just pure information, pure integrity, pure value, right? You know, if someone's an S, then it's like they have all of those. Yo, how come I missed it? How come Crypto John is scammed? Because there was not evidence, but there was proof of him scamming and dumping on his fans and his YouTube audience. So if that wasn't the case, I think Crypto John would have probably been like C tier, where he just, like, his analysis from what we saw was just like he looks at coin market cap, right? He looks at coin market cap. Let's say something like Bitcoin. Doesn't matter, it could be any coin. So you go in the last month and you'd be like, yeah, we're up 1.36%. I think it's gonna go higher. I think it's gonna lower, and that's it. There was no like evidence to suggest it. There was no extra like value on top of it. And then the fact that you could go search up the video. If we search up Crypto John, I mean it's the third thing that pops up. Yeah. 9 months ago, 10 months ago. See the great. I mean, obviously you can't just go based on likes to dislikes. I remember watching this. There's a lot of literal proof and evidence that suggests and says that he did scam. Right, so if you do want to watch this video, this is what I'd recommend watching, right? So like I said, it's, if I know someone has scammed, if I know someone just does upload like 2 coins are sponsored by every single day, I'm not going to recommend you to them, because you're going to listen to them, you're going to go, oh, the next 100x meme coin, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then boom, you're wondering why nothing went your way. Right? Once again, I have to iterate. Doing business, a sponsored video here and there, there's nothing wrong with it. It's life, it's business. There's nothing wrong with getting paid for if you truly believe in it, if it's something's truly great. But if you do it like twice a day, once a day, probably means you don't care. But yeah, that is practically it, ladies and gentlemen. Very long stream. Thank you for the people that have been tuning in. We probably were averaging between, I'd say an average of like 15 views. Solid, right? I know it is a Saturday as well, so there's less people joining, and of course, many people do like technical analysis and stuff, and they're not really into these things too much. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing another one. I'll definitely have to do some research on my own time. I definitely want to double check certain people, readjust the tier list value, add certain context. I have to make sure that when I do make this video, which will probably be out in a week from now or whenever, that we have the criteria, right? Not necessarily about quality, not necessarily about this or this. It's more about if I told my friend about this person, are they going to make money? Are they going to get, some kind of value, or is it likely they're going to get scammed and they're going to get wrecked by bad technical analysis, by bad analysis in general, right? So yeah. Thank you, Harley, for the compliment. Love you guys so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys next.